And while you're up there, make sure you stop by the Wildwood Shop for all your 2015 Long Island Ducks souvenirs and merchandise.
This is Long Island Ducks baseball.
Justin Davies at the plate, the winning run at third. Crowd going nuts. Swung on, bouncing ball left side, off the mitt, up third baseman Brad Strauss. Here comes Willie Rodriguez. Justin Davies has done it again. The Ducks are one quack away from the championship.
Jason Johnson makes the catch. He makes the catch, and the Long Island Ducks have swept the Camden River Sharks. They are the 2004 Atlantic League champions.
Line bunts up the third baseline. Esquivel charging in. They're not going to have a play, and the Ducks are the champions of the Atlantic League here in 2012. Going back is Adam Bailey. He settles under it. He makes the catch. Adam Bailey makes the catch. And for a second straight year, the Atlantic League trophy will reside on Long Island. The Ducks are the Atlantic League champions.
And now it's time for the Long Island Ducks North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital pregame show.
Live from Bethpage Ballpark in Central Islip, New York, it's time once again for Long Island Ducks baseball. And tonight the Long Island Ducks take on the York Revolution in the rubber game of the three-game series. Well, hello again, everyone. It's Chris King, joined by David Weiss. We thank you so much for tuning into Ducks baseball tonight on our Game of the Week right here on 103.9 LI News Radio, and, of course, around the world at liducks.com and at youtube.com/ducksbaseball, and making us a part of your Tuesday evening entertainment. Well, David, it feels like that movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray is every day we come into the ballpark, it's rainy, it's cloudy, it's raw, it's wet, it's windy, and we got two teams that for some reason have played overtime in each of the last two games. A 4-3 York win on Sunday took 15 innings, 4.5 hours. And the Ducks bounced back last night with a 4-3 win of their own in 11 innings, 3.5 hours. So two teams, I think, that really want to play 9 and no more than 9 innings tonight.
Yeah, 26 innings, Chris, over 2 days. And that means the knuckleballer, at least knuckleballer in part, Mickey Janis, is expected by his skipper, Kevin Baez, to give the Ducks length tonight, to give the bullpen a much-needed rest, and with a knuckleballer on the mound, that is precisely his game plan, to stay in as long as possible.
Well, again, a great ending last night for Long Island in the bottom of the 11th as Prentice Redmond singles into center field to bring home Blake Davis with the winning run. Delta Cleary Jr. had a remarkable game for the Ducks, going 4 for 4. He had 3 singles, a double, a walk, reached base all 5 times, and tied a franchise record with 3 stolen bases. And Kevin Baez raving about his bullpen today. Last night, 3 relievers, Kreider, Diaz, and Struck combined for 4 innings of perfect relief. That's right, 12 up, 12 down with 6 strikeouts in a tie game that went through the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th. And, David, that's just remarkable to have your bullpen be perfect the way they were. A big part of why the Ducks pulled it out in the 11th. Exactly.
How do you win an extra inning game? When you're talking about the bullpen, you need shutdown innings, and you got to give your team a chance to win it in the bottom of the frame, which is exactly what the Ducks did in 11 last night. The Ducks have been a streaky team this year. They're 4 games over 500, still trailing the Somerset Patriots by a few, but we're past the midway point of the first half. As Yogi Berra once said, it gets late early.
Well, it certainly does. And yesterday here, before the game that got the Ducks to the midpoint of the season, I had a chance to talk with manager Kevin Baez. We'll hear that conversation, and we'll hear the exciting ending of last night's game as well, how Prentice Redmond played hero for the Ducks with a waddle-off victory. It's all next as we continue from CI.
Hey fans, this is Kevin Baez, manager of the Long Island Ducks, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital in Bayshore is the healthcare heart of our community. We provide outstanding health care right here at home with centers of excellence in cardiology, orthopedics, neurosciences, women's health services, and much more. Experience counts, and North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital has been around for nearly a century of care. For more information, please call 631-968-3000 or visit us on the web at www.nslij.com.
Can't get enough of the Long Island Ducks? Well, now you can get even more inside info on your favorite hometown team through Facebook and Twitter. The Ducks are constantly updating fans through social media with scores, transactions, ballpark promotions, and much more. You can even win great prizes. All you'll need to do is make a free account on Facebook and Twitter, and then visit us at facebook.com/LIDucks and twitter.com/LIDucks. Think you're Long Island's biggest Ducks fan? Get connected now.
Chris King and David Weiss back at soggy Bethpage Ballpark before tonight's rubber game of this three-game series between the Long Island Ducks and the York Revolution. Well, in the Atlantic League, the teams play two 70-game halves. The winner of the first halves are in the playoffs. The winner of the second halves are in the playoffs. And yesterday, before the contest here, the Ducks hit the midpoint of the first half, 35 games in, with a record of 19-16 before their victory here last night. They came in second in the Liberty Division, 5 games back of the first-place Somerset Patriots. But last week in Bridgewater, New Jersey, they played the Patriots in a key 4-game series, 4 games back. The Ducks would split the 4 games and exit as they entered, still 4 games back of the Pats. And that's where we pick up my conversation yesterday with Ducks manager Kevin Baez about his club getting the split against the Patriots in New Jersey.
Well, obviously going into it, you want to, 3 out of 4 was the, our goal. I mean, obviously, you try to win every game, but the reality, you try to split, and to win the first game, and then some heartbreaking losses the next 2. They got a good pitching, they got a good defense, and they had some decent hitting. So, and then to come back and respond the last day, and Barbosa pitched a hell of a game, and to come out with the split was huge. And I mean, like I said, we got 35 games left. We got to make a push. I mean, because that team right there is they're going to be in a lot of games with that pitching staff.
Well, the game that got you to the midpoint was a wild one yesterday. Tell me about a very tough 15-inning loss here.
Yeah, very frustrating when you go that deep at your home park and then come out on the losing end. Their pitchers made some quality pitches when it need be, and then we did that as well. They had a man on third when we got struck the guy out. Got out of it. We had some situations where all we needed is a fly ball, and I know it's easier said than done, but that's the name of the game. You got to do those little things to win the game.
But how about your bullpen, Kevin? To go almost 10 full innings and allow only the 1 run.
That's a great sign. In the beginning of the year was our pitching and defense and timely hitting, and now to see the pitching coming back around and the bullpen especially is huge. We need because they're going to keep us in games.
Well, twice recently, Kevin, you used 10 pitchers in a single game. Do you ever remember this happening to you prior?
No. But, it just shows the confidence I have in these guys. And like I told them in the beginning of the season, I'm going to bring you out there and prove that you belong in those situations, and I'll keep bringing you out there. It's as easy, as simple as that. So I told them to want the ball in that situation, and so far they've been doing it.
Well, you mentioned midpoint of the first half, Kevin. You're a couple of games over 500, but 5 back of the Somerset Patriots. How would you assess the midpoint of the first half?
It's inconsistent. I mean, we're up and down. We win a couple, we lose a couple. We got hot for a little bit, but then we lost a couple. So it's, we just need to get hot here. And, I know the old cliche, this is the most important game, but it is true, and we can't look any further than today's game, and that's the way we got to approach it.
What's been the biggest positive for you so far?
Well, new acquisitions have been good, but more importantly, Kuzma closing the game, Diaz coming in, the back end has been very good. Kern, nice bright spot. He was a spring training invite, the kid, and looking good. So, and Lou Ford is doing his thing. Puckett's doing well at third, and Shorty, Dan Lyons at short has been steady. All the guys been doing well, but just need some guys to step up a little bit. And Griffin started off really slow, and now he's stepped up, and because he's a big part of that lineup, and playing an outstanding first base too.
How about Brian Sabatella, the way he's come on of late?
Yes, and that's huge. In the beginning he wasn't, he was a little slow, and but he's leading us off. So as he goes, we go, like I told him. So he gets on base, he causes havoc, and Corona's another kid too that been outstanding for us, and a new addition of Cleary as well, and Redmond. So But Sabatello is a big part of what we're trying to do here. Is he goes, we go.
That is Kevin Baez, the manager of the Long Island Ducks, as we spoke before yesterday's game here against the York Revolution. Won by the Ducks 4-3 in the bottom of the 11th inning. The inning led off with Blake Davis drawing a walk. Mike Blank sacrifice bunted him to second base. So with Davis at second and one away, Prentice Redmond, who entered the game as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the ninth and had an infield single there, was up for the second time, and Redmond played hero. 1-1. Redmond hits it in the air to center field. Wilkerson charging in. Will drop in front of him. Blake Davis turns third. Here he comes to play at the plate. Not in time! Prentice Redmond has won it for the Ducks as they waddle off with a 4-3 win here in the bottom of the 11th. And he is mobbed out past first base. So the Ducks, one day after losing 4-3 in 15 innings, win it 4-3 in 11, and the same guy who won the last game in waddle-off fashion, Prentice Redmond, is the hero once again. Long Island victorious here tonight by the final score of 4-3. Well, David, nothing like a waddle-off win. The Ducks have 3 of them now on the season. As I mentioned there, the last 2, Prentice Redmond has played heroes, so it's so tough to sit on the bench for nearly 3 hours, enter a game in the bottom of the 9th, come up with a hit then that doesn't win the game, but come up again in the bottom of the 11th and get another hit that does. You got to really tip your cap to Prentice Redmond.
And a tip of the cap to all the fans who stuck it out.
Yes.
Along with you, there were thousands who showed up for the first pitch, and still quite a few there in the bottom of inning number 11. It's kind of like owning a car. Over the course of a long time, you put money into it, you say, I don't want to sell the car, yet I put so much money in. You've devoted so much time to this game. I'm not going to leave in the 8th or 9th or 10th. I'm going to stick it out, see what happens. And the bottom of the 11th, the fans were rewarded with a victory. Always a lot happier to go home with a W after spending all the time at the ballpark in less than desirable weather conditions. Another chilly night tonight, so many fans here, thousands are coming out here tonight, are dressed for football weather, but we're still playing baseball, and it should be another good one tonight.
All right, we'll take one more break, and when we come back, a preview of tonight's pitching matchup. David talked about the knuckleballer. Right-hander Mickey Janis goes for Long Island against southpaw Rami Lewis for the Revs.
Hey, fans, this is Bud Harrelson, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 103.9 LI News Radio.
North Shore LIJ, Southside Hospital in Bayshore, is the healthcare heart of our community. We provide outstanding healthcare right here at home with centers of excellence in cardiology, orthopedics, neurosciences, women's health services, and much more. Experience counts, and North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital has been around for nearly a century of care. For more information, please call 631-968-3000 or visit us on the web at www.nslij.com.
Few places on Earth offer the charm and excitement of Fire Island. At Fire Island Ferries, located conveniently at 99 Maple Avenue in Bayshore, they offer convenient travel to Fire Island 7 days a week. Fire Island is quickly becoming a top destination for families of all ages. Experience the informal, carefree communities, the dazzling night scene, enjoy fine dining, or climb to the top of one of the tallest lighthouses in the United States. But there's only one way to get there, by calling Fire Island Ferries at 631-665-3600 today. For fare and scheduling information, please visit fireislandferries.com.
Chris King and David Weiss back at Bethpage Ballpark before tonight's contest between the Long Island Ducks and the York Revolution. Again, rubber game of the 3-game set. The Revs took game 1 4-3 Sunday afternoon in 15 innings. It took 4 hours and 35 minutes to decide it. Last night, the Ducks won it 4-3 in 11 innings. It took 3 hours and 30 minutes to decide it. And tonight, our pitching matchup features a pair of pitchers, David, both in the top 10 in the league in ERA. For Long Island, it's the right-handed knuckleballer Mickey Janis, 2-2 with an outstanding 1.87 earned run average. And for the Revs, lefty Rami Lewis, he's 3-2 with a 2.22 ERA. So to have both guys at under 2.25 for earned run average on the year, it should be a terrific pitching matchup.
And for Rami Lewis, 26 strikeouts and 32 1/3 innings pitched, has walked only 7, and as you said, the ERA under 2.25. And for Mickey Janis, the ERA under 2, 29 strikeouts, just 9 walks. Both of these guys control pitchers. That's especially key for Mickey Janis. Many knuckleballers will walk the ballpark and suddenly lose control. Janis has had control and command for the most part this season.
And it's been a much faster knuckleball than folks may be used to seeing with major league knuckleballers. His knuckleball, David, is apparently in the upper 70s, low 80s. His fastball, upper 80s, low 90s. So that's zipping along for a fastball, number one, but really moving along for a knuckleball.
And you would think he uses his fastball just as much as he uses the knuckler, and that disparity, that separation with those miles per hour between the knuckler and the fastball is a key. He probably uses the knuckler many times where other pitchers might use a change. And the knuckler, of course, will dance all over the place. It has made Janis very difficult to hit this season.
Again, 95% of his pitches will be knuckleballs or fastballs. He'll mix in the very occasional slider, but we're going to see a lot of heat and a lot of dancing baseballs coming out of the right hand of Mickey Janis here tonight. So that's our matchup. Ducks just about to take the field. We'll take one more break, and when we come back, the starting lineups and the first pitch of tonight's game between the Long Island Ducks and the York Revolution. It's next from the Duck Pond.
Hey fans, this is Marty Jansen, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 1039 LI News Radio.
North Shore LIJ, Southside Hospital in Bayshore, is the healthcare heart of our community. We provide outstanding health care right here at home with centers of excellence in cardiology, orthopedics, neurosciences, women's health services, and much more. Experience counts, and North Shore LIJ Southside Hospital has been around for nearly a century of care. For more information, please call 631-968-3000 or visit us on the web at www.nslij.com.
Family fun every time.
Beautiful evening for baseball.
Big action every time.
He reaches up. It's gone!
Great value every time.
And the Ducks have won it 7-1.
The Ducks schedule is loaded with new promotions this season. And with an average ticket price of just $10 and free parking, there is no better value on Long Island. For game times and tickets, visit liducks.com. Long Island Ducks Baseball. Good times every time.
Back at Bethpage Ballpark, Central Islip, Long Island Ducks, York Revolution. Just about ready for the national anthem to be delivered by the Canaan and Barton Elementary Schools. The choir from both schools from the Patchogue Medford School District. All of the parents are lined up on the front row behind the netting to watch their youngsters sing the national anthem, a great thrill. Dream Teamers are on the field. The color guard is here as well. And we've got a good crowd on hand despite the less than desirable weather conditions tonight. Here's our national anthem.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red flares, the martyrs staring in air, they proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the
What a wonderful job done with the Star Spangled Banner by the Canaan and Barton Elementary Schools. The students from the Patchogue Medford School District. Dream Teamers on the field. The Howard Middle School softball team from Farmingdale. And the color guard along the first base line, Cub Scout Pack 38 from Islip Terrace. With that national anthem, I'll tell you, The starters hope to be as pitch perfect
Oh, man.
as those singing the anthem tonight. You see what I did there?
I did. Very nice. A little current reference to a big hit movie, right?
There you go. Pitch Perfect 2, now in theaters. And now, Chris King, our superstar on the big screen and small screen and behind the mic with our starting
Yeah,
lineup.
guaranteed not to be pitch perfect, am I, with this starting lineup. First for Mark Mason's York Revolution. They come in 15-21. Right now, third in the Freedom Division, 6.5 games back of the first place Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Newcomer Shannon Wilkerson leads it off in right field. He's been red hot. Wilson Valdez, the two-man at short. Brian Pounds will play second and hit third, and Andres Perez is their cleanup man at first. Brandon Boggs in left field bats fifth. Luis De La Cruz is the catcher batting sixth. Johan Lamonte will DH and bat seventh. And the 8-hole, it's Steve Proscia, their third baseman, and batting ninth and playing center field. Sunday's hero, the guy who won it with a home run in the 15th inning, Sean Smith of the Revolution. On the hill, left-hander Rami Lewis, 3-2, with an outstanding 2.22 earned run average. For Kevin Baez, Long Island Ducks, they come in at 20-16, second in the Liberty Division, 5 games back of the first place Somerset Patriots. Local boy Brian Sabatella leads it off as designated hitter. Delta Cleary Jr., coming off the 4-for-4 game last night, patrols left field and bats second. Lou Ford in center hits third, and Cody Puckett is at third base batting cleanup. John Griffin, the first baseman, hits fifth. Prentice Redmond in right field bats sixth. Regi Corona hits seventh and plays second base. Mike Blank bats eighth and catches. And hitting ninth and playing shortstop is Dan Lyons. All of that in support of the 27-year-old right-hander from Sparks, Nevada, 6 foot tall, 190-pound Mickey Janis, who makes his ninth appearance of the season and his sixth start, a 2-2 record. And David, a 1.87 ERA for Janis, fifth best in the Atlantic League.
Very impressive, as Chris detailed in our pregame show. But 95% of those pitches, fastballs or the knuckler. You never know what's coming at you in terms of speed, location, but he has exercised control and command this season. Mickey Janis with 29 strikeouts and 38 and a third innings pitched and has walked only 9. That ERA well under 2. York Revolution stepping in, and Shannon Wilkerson leading off and takes a knuckler on the inside corner for a strike. 0-1, and we are underway. 6:40 is the start time for tonight's game. I'd say the temperature 63. That's my
I'm
guess.
going 50s.
Yeah, you might be right. Next pitch, inside corner, strike 2.
Visual Southern Transportation Services temperature of tonight's ball game is 55 degrees.
55, the speed limit. Wishful thinking on my part that
Exactly.
we're still in the 60s. I don't think we hit 60 degrees today around the area. Wilkerson with an 0-2 count, came in batting .395, no homers, 3 RBIs, and he hits one in the air, foul territory, drifting toward the foul line, third base side, and it is grabbed by Cody Puckett. He drops it. It was in foul territory, and that will go down as an error as the at-bat is saved for Shannon Wilkerson. So maybe a little slippery. Cody Puckett trying to look at it through the mist and dropped it, so that is an E5, and Wilkerson still at the plate with the count of 0-2.
They just lost it, and that was kind of the problem last night, David. The swirling wind, the mist. The Ducks committed 3 errors in the game, very uncharacteristic for a team that's been very good defensively this season.
Wilkerson playing in his 11th game for the York Revolution and is off to a very good start and has at least one extra pitch here. 0-2 pitch, and it was a fastball outside corner, tap foul against the facade, the fence that guards the Long Island Ducks dugout. So the count remains 0-2, just underway. Bethpage Ballpark in Central Islip. The lights have been turned on early. Skies are as gray as oatmeal, and there's some mist in the air. 0-2 pitch, and that's hit into the ground, well into the ground, taken by Dan Lyons. He has time and rifles it to John Griffin for the first out, so no damage done. After the E5, extending the at-bat to Shannon Wilkerson, 1 down.
Is your oatmeal always gray, David?
Gray as oatmeal.
I'd never heard that one before.
That came from the late Jack Lang, a Suffolk Sports Hall of Famer and former sports writer extraordinaire. And he spoke about the 1951 shot heard round the world, Bobby
Wow.
Thompson.
Okay.
And he began his description of the day by saying the sky was gray as oatmeal. So I took it from him, the great late Jack Lang. Wilson Valdez at the plate, and the first pitch skips, backhanded by Mike Blank, outside. 1-0 to Valdez at 246, no homers, 7 RBI. And just missing once again is Janis. 2 balls and no strikes. 1 down, nobody on. Righty-righty matchup here. Valdez stands way up on the plate with a slightly open stance as Janis misses outside. Now 3-0. He falls behind. Ducks commit to the game 4 games over 500 at 20-16. 3-0 pitch on the way and just misses. A 4-pitch walk to Wilson Valdez. As we mentioned, the numbers on the way in for Mickey Janis, uncharacteristic for him to walk somebody on 4 pitches. Usually that control is pinpoint. So there's a man on with 1 down.
That's the amazing number, David. You gave it 9 walks only for a knuckleballer in almost 40 innings of work. That's tremendous control for, again, as a knuckleballer would tell you, they're really not sure where it's going when they let it go, right?
And that's why Mike Blank has that responsibility tonight. Trying to control that knuckler and get it into the mitt. Knuckleball lands on the inside corner to Brian Pounds, 0-1. Pounds at 284, couple of homers, has driven in 20. He has played in every game for the York Revolution so far this season, all 36 of them. York 15-21 coming into the game. Janis comes set. Taking a lead is Valdez at first base, and he takes off. The pitch is off the mitt of catcher Mike Blank and slithers away. And a stolen base for Wilson Valdez. As that knuckler, Mike Blank unable to corral it, so a runner on scoring position now for York with 1 down.
Yeah, they're going to run on it, David, no doubt about it. It's coming in slower than most pitches, and it's hard to handle for a catcher, so expect lots of running tonight for the Revs. Valdez, 11th stolen base of the year. He's second in the league to Brian Sabatella now.
He's only been caught stealing once. Nice average. 1-1 pitch, fastball inside, and 2 balls and a strike to Brian Pounds. Revolution and the Ducks. We've talked about it, and we'll reiterate. They have played 26 innings of baseball over the past 2 days. Lots of relievers getting work in, and the Ducks and Revs have split the first 2 games of this 3-game series. Count is 2-1. The pitch to Pounds is on the way. It's a knuckler, and it's ripped to center field. Lou Ford is going back. That one is going to be caught by Lou. Catches it in stride and gets it back in quickly.
What a
Line
jump.
drive. A nice jump by Lou Ford. Got on it right away.
Those do not look like 38-year-old legs out there, David.
Yep.
He got an amazing jump, and off the bat I said there's no way he's catching that ball. And that was a huge grab because obviously Valdez scores easily from second if it goes over his head. And that might have been a triple for Pounds if Lou didn't get to it.
It also helps that tonight with humidity and mist in the air, although there's no breeze whatsoever, the flags are not moving. You would think it'll take a gargantuan shot to hit one out of the park tonight. The ball is not going to carry. Andres Perez, first baseman and cleanup man for York, now stands in, open stance from the right side. First pitch is a knuckleball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Mike Blank. 1 ball and no strikes to Perez on the season at 268. 2 homers, has knocked in 18. He is the other York Revolution starter who has played every single game this season. 1-0 the count. Valdez takes his lead. And the pitch on the way to Perez. Fastball missing outside, 2-0.
Ducks have just 2 players who've played every game this year. Of course, Lou Ford, who became the first player last year to play all 140, and Brian Sabatella, the Long Island native.
You would have to put Lou Ford in a straitjacket and cart him away against his will. Take him out of the game. 2-0 the count to Andres Perez. Pitch on the way is I couldn't tell if that was a knuckleball or a curve, but it did hit the outside corner, 2-1.
I thought it was a hard slider. It had a little movement on it for sure, away from a right-handed batter. So perhaps that rare slider that he mixes in maybe 5% of the time just to keep him honest.
Count 2-1 with 2 down. Runner on second. Top of the first. Ducks and Revolution, no score yet. 2-1 pitch. That's a knuckler in the dirt, blocked by Blank. And it's 3-1 to Perez. Left fielder Brandon Boggs waiting on deck.
Well, Mickey Janis wanted us to wish a very happy 2nd birthday to his niece tonight, Lily Luton, listening online. So, Lily, happy birthday, as Mickey thinking of you here tonight.
Very happy birthday to her. 3-1 the count. Coming set. Janis. Pitch is slammed into the Duck dugout. Did it hit anybody?
It went through that little opening, David, that is in the railing that's supposed to protect them in there, and I'm not sure. We can't see inside it. I certainly hope everybody's all right.
That was a screamer, a hot shot, and very little time to react in the Ducks dugout. I see some activity there. Once again, we're hoping that no one is the worse for wear in the Ducks dugout.
Yeah, you worry when the ball doesn't come out. You know if it comes out, it hit the cement wall in the back. Right. But when it doesn't come out, that's when you have the worry that maybe something absorbed it.
Perez at the plate. The count is full. 3-2 on the way. Oh, it had the plate, but apparently downstairs. So second walk issued by Mickey Janis here in the top of the first. Valdez is at second. Perez now occupies first base. 2 on, 2 out, and Brandon Boggs coming up.
A little lack of control here for Mickey Janis on a tough night for any pitcher, but especially a knuckleballer when you've got all this water flying around. The wind has died down a little bit, but knuckleballers will tell you they don't want the wind at their back. They'd prefer it in their face.
Brandon Boggs, the left fielder, batting from the left side against the righty Janis, who gets a knuckler to spin over the outside corner, 0-1. Boggs on the season at .260. He has 1 homer, has knocked in 9. He has scored 15 runs in the 32 games he has played. Stands deep in the box from the left side. Valdez leading off second, Perez off first. 0-1 pitch is on the way, a bounding ball first base, big, nice hop for John Griffin. He'll take it himself, and that'll do it. So in the inning, no runs, couple of walks, there was an error, 2 men left, and the score at the end of a half inning of play. The York Revolution, nothing, the Ducks coming up.
Hey fans, this is outfielder and hitting coach Lou Ford, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
Beautify your patio, walkway, driveway, or pool surround with Nicoloc paving stones and walls. Nicoloc's specially formulated paver shield offers extra surface wear protection and color enhancement throughout the thickness of the paver. Paver shield guarantees that your pavers will look great for years to come. Bring home the elegance with Nicoloc. Visit the Nicoloc Design Center, Sunrise Highway, Lindenhurst, or Nicoloc.com.
Let Nicoloc paver, pavers, pave your way.
Enjoy the ultimate VIP fan experience at Bethpage Ballpark this season by taking in a Ducks game from the brand new Trout Town Fan Can. Presented by Roscoe Beer Company, the Fan Can is available for rental at all Ducks home games. It features 12 Dream Seat theater-style padded seats, beverage holders, an air-conditioned atmosphere, and an incredible view of the game. Packages are now available with food and beverage included. To reserve your Fan Can outing today, call the Ducks Group Sales Department at 631-940-3825. The Trout Town Fan Can at Bethpage Ballpark. Your VIP experience has arrived.
No score as we head to the last of the first, and the Ducks and Municipal Credit Union have teamed up this season to present the Walk with a Purpose promotion. Every time a Long Island Ducks player walks, Municipal Credit Union will make a donation to the Quacker Jack Foundation, Municipal Credit Union serving members since 1916.
So we go to the bottom of the first here at Bethpage Ballpark. York Revolution threatened but do not score. It was a duck error and a couple of walks in the top of the first, but scoreless to this point, as the Ducks will send up Brian Sabatella, Delta Cleary Jr., and Lou Ford up against converted closer Rami Lewis, who in his 6 starts this season has done quite well.
Again, a guy who hadn't started, David, since 2010 and was a great reliever a year ago, set a York record with 28 saves as their closer in 2014.
As Sabatella stands in, the native Long Islander, born in Port Jeff, living in Aquabog, always has family and friends on hand when he plays, and the DH leading off from the right side against the big lefty Rami Lewis, who misses with a fastball outside. 1-0. Sabatella on the season at .260. He has played every game for the Long Island Ducks, as we've mentioned previously. 1 homer, has knocked in 15. Next pitch on the way, nips the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Umpires here tonight: John Ramsey behind the plate, Manolo Alejandro at first base, Frank Leparek over at third. 1-1 pitch on the way, a fastball just missing, 2 balls and a strike. And with most relievers, he's pitching from the stretch even with nobody on. That is a habit that's impossible to break.
Especially when you've worked as much as he has as a reliever and especially a closer.
Next pitch to Sabatella, inside corner, good fastball with good pop, and the count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brian.
Yeah, Rami Lewis, David, 139 games in relief the last 3 seasons in the Atlantic League.
He's got good stuff if he can give him length, and he has done it so far. And there's a base hit up the middle by Brian Sabatella. So the Ducks with the first hit of the game for either team And Brian is aboard with a ground ball single to center.
I got to feel good for Sabatella, David. He was 0 for 11 in the first 2 games of the series. He watched a long hitting streak come to an end Sunday and a long on-base streak come to an end last night. So Brian with his first knock of the series, and the Ducks with the leadoff man on.
Of course, the Ducks split those 2 marathon games against the York Revolution. When you lose a long one and you go hitless, it stings a little more than it would otherwise. So Sabatella aboard. Delta Cleary Jr., the left fielder, batting from the right side. He's going to bunt. Push bunt toward first base, but bunts it foul. No balls and a strike to the speedy Cleary Jr. He has 6 steals on the season, caught stealing only twice, so you know he's got the speed to pull that off, but he was bunting there for a base hit, surely not a sacrifice here in the bottom of the first. As for Brian Sabatella, leading the Ducks in steals with 14, always a threat to go. Coming set, Rami Lewis, and again, Cleary Jr. is trying to bunt, bunts it right back behind home plate, and it's 0-2.
A little surprising to see a guy who last night went 4 for 4 and added a walk, stole 3 bases, trying to bunt his way aboard. He's got such a hot bat. It was only the second 4-hit game of the year for the Ducks. Lou Ford had the other.
Well, he won't be bunting here with 2 strikes. Coming set, Lewis looking right at Sabatella, who's not taking a really big lead. And the pitch on the way, and a foul toward the Duck dugout. And the count remains, no balls and 2 strikes, with the ever-dangerous Lou Ford looming, L-E-W-M-I-N-G, on deck.
Oh, very nicely played.
I'm using all my best stuff early. Getting it out of the way.
In case it rains, right? There you go.
Exactly. Get it out of my system. Coming set, Rami Lewis. The 0-2 on the way, and there's a ground ball through the whole right side. Going station to station is Brian Sabatella. He will hold on. The ball is snared by Shannon Wilkerson and throws it in from right. Delta Cleary Jr., as hot as he was last night, picks up right where he was left off.
Yeah, I asked Kevin Baez about him today. He said it's a very low-key guy, but he comes ready to play every night, extremely confident in his skills, and why not when he's now 5 for 5 in the last 2 games.
And I tell you, that single through the right side wasn't hit a whole lot harder than those bunt attempts, but it's where you hit it, not how hard. And here comes Lou Ford. Lou has played every game for the Long Island Ducks after playing every game for the Ducks last season, all 140. Center fielder for the Ducks, off to another great start. 324, 4 homers, has knocked in 33 in his 36 games. 2 on, nobody out. Pitch to Ford is downstairs, blocked by catcher Louis De La Cruz. And it's 1-0 to Lou.
Just the guy you want up, right, David? The league leader in runs batted in at 33, as you mentioned, coming in. And 2 Ducks on the pond for him already with nobody out.
We said it will take quite a smash to hit it out tonight. What with the heavy air, slight mist. But if anybody could do it, certainly Lou can. Slightly closed stance from the right side as Rami Lewis comes set. Sabatella and Cleary Jr. take their respective leads. The 1-0 on the way outside. That one got away from Lewis. The grip on the ball also a point to make tonight. It's going to be a little tough as, again, it continues to drizzle here. Some umbrellas up in the stands, but most fans came prepared, wearing all kinds of rain attire.
This has got to be the end of it, though, right? It's 48 hours of this stuff.
No, it's coming to an end. Tomorrow's going to be cooler, but nicer and rain-free. 2-0 pitch on the way, well inside to Lou Ford, now 3-0.
You talked about how tough it was to get a ball out. Only homer last night, David, was John Griffin, but it was a no-doubter to left field that left the part in a hurry. An absolute moon ball that, again, everybody knew was gone the minute it hit the bat, a big John Griffin.
Yeah, last time I was here, Griffin hit one of those moon shots. He's got that golfing-type swing, and he lifts it in the air. He went the other way with a home run to right when I was here, and it was still going. 3-0 pitch on the way, up and away. Lou Ford never took the bat off his shoulder, and no reason to. None of the pitches were even close. They're loaded up with nobody out.
Well, the first Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose of the game for the Ducks. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification.
And here comes Cody Puckett. And you can hear the fans. They're chanting his name. Cody Puckett, third baseman for the Long Island Ducks. Bases loaded, nobody out. Coming set, Rami Lewis. Pitch on the way, and Cody watches a curveball land into the mitt of catcher Luis De La Cruz for a strike. 0-1. Puckett on the season at .294, 4 homers, has driven in 18, and he's up there drooling right now. With the Ducks looking to break out on top early here in the bottom of inning number 1.
Ducks have not had a salami this year, David, a grand slam. They've had 19 homers, but none of them with the bases loaded just yet.
It would be a good time for one. Puckett, the cleanup man here tonight, trying to clean them off the bases with one swing. 0-1 pitch, fastball well outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cody Puckett. Last night, Puckett was 1 for 4 with a run batted in and a run scored in the 11th-inning Ducks 4-3 win over the York Revolution. Puckett batting from the right side against the southpaw, Rami Lewis. Sabatella, Cleary Jr., Lou Ford taking their respective leads. 1-1 pitch on the way, ground ball foul, left side. Behind skipper Kevin Baez, who doubles as the third base coach. So the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cody.
Early trouble for the lefty Rami Lewis, David, coming off his best outing of the season. Thursday in Camden, 6 innings of 3-hit shutout ball and a 5-4 win. He didn't walk anybody, and he struck out a season-high 7. So this is a big reversal from what he did on Thursday in New Jersey.
See if he can wriggle out of it. Infield is playing back all the way, looking for the double play. They will gladly surrender a run for 2 outs. 1-2 pitch on the way, just missing outside. And the count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cody Puckett will certainly be selective at the plate, but with 2 strikes, he's got to guard the plate as well. So the Ducks looking for the early lead, and they've got it all set up. Bases jammed, nobody out. 2-2 pitch on the way to Cody is slap foul right side. Makes it all the way back over the second section of seats to the concourse area, and the count remains 2-2.
Well, last night the Ducks able to put 3 in the first inning on the board, David. Cody Puckett had an RBI single, and then John Griffin followed with that big 2-run homer to left. So trying to repeat what they did a night ago and grab the early lead. Of course, Ducks wouldn't score again until the 11th to win it.
John Griffin is on deck. Matter at hand, though. Puckett at the plate. 2-2 pitch is on the way. Swing and a miss. Good fastball. Foul tip back into the mid of Luis De La Cruz. And Puckett goes down swinging. 1 down and a big first out for Rami Lewis.
They got to give Rami a bit of confidence as the Ducks had loaded the bases against him with nobody out. But now it gets harder rather than easier with big John Griffin striding to home.
And we mentioned the moonshot he hit last night. Home run number 7 on the season. Griffin leading the Ducks in the home run department. He has knocked in 25 with his .269 average. He's missed only 1 game this year. Has played 35 of them. First baseman for the Ducks, batting 5th in the order. 1 down. Bases loaded. First pitch, fastball way outside by Lewis, and it's 1-0.
Griffin had a homer Saturday in Bridgewater, New Jersey as well. So 2 homers in his last 3 games.
John Griffin at the plate, 6'6". Rami Lewis on the mound, 6'6". That's over 13 feet of baseball we're looking at. 1-0 the count. Lewis pitch to Griffin, and that's an off-speed pitch. Change-up or curve, either way outside. It is now 2-0 to John, who can now wait for something in his zone.
Well, Lewis keeping it out of the wheelhouse of John Griffin, but he's got no place to put him with the bases loaded. So Rami eventually is going to have to give John something to hit, or again force in a run with a walk.
Griffin runs pretty well for a big man, but the Revolution trying to double him up here. That would be something that they want to do. 2-0 pitch on the way, and that nips the outside corner for a strike. Good pitch by Lewis, who didn't give in at 2-0. It's 2-1.
Just keeping it away, and finally got that outside black. And see if he comes in at all here on John Griffin. A big strike there for the lefty.
As we mentioned, with one of Griffin's home runs that was hit well over the right field fence, he can go the other way with power. 2-1 pitch on the way to John, and he takes low. It's 3-1. So the Ducks, 1 pitch out of the strike zone, away from taking an early lead. Griffin at 3-1 should get something very good to hit here. Standing deep in the box from the right side, the lefty, Rami Lewis coming set. Runners take their leads. The 3-1 is on the way. Swung on, fouled over our heads. In fact, over everything. And the count now full at 3-2.
Yeah, Griffin just missing it, David. A little bit underneath it and got the pitch he wanted and just wasn't able to connect.
Griffin, who lives in Bradenton, Florida. I'd take a wild guess and say he doesn't like this kind of weather. Nor is he used to it. Count full. Coming St. Louis. Bases jam, one down. Next pitch inside, and the Ducks lead 1-0. Brian Sabatella comes in to score on the bases loaded walk. And the Ducks break out on top with their first run on the bases loaded base on balls. And that is another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins.
Well, you'll take it any way you can get it, right? Couple of walks, couple of hits. It adds up to a run, and for the second straight night, first inning lead for Long Island.
John Griffin gets the RBI, number 26 on the season. And Prentice Redmond is now at the plate. Open stance from the right side. First pitch on the way downstairs with a curve. 1 ball and no strikes to Prentice. At .256, a homer and 8 RBIs.
And the guy who sent everybody home last night, David, bottom of the 11th with the waddle-off game-winning hit that scored Blake Davis from second base.
As heard in our pregame show, if you were listening last night, another terrific waddle-off call.
Oh, thanks.
By the great Chris King.
We all wanted to go home, and Prentice sent us.
He did. Redmond, the right fielder, 6th in the order. Lewis taking a lot of time on the mound. Now Redmond calls for time himself and steps out momentarily. 1-0 the count to Prentice Redmond. Couple of singles and a walk, loaded the bases with nobody out. Cody Puckett struck out. John Griffin walked. It is 1-0 Ducks. 1 out, bases still loaded. Pitch to Redmond is downstairs. It's 2-0 to Prentice, and the control problems continue for Rami Lewis.
Again, coming off that game Thursday in Camden, no walks, 7 strikeouts. He's already walked 2 in this inning alone. Does have 1 strikeout. That was Cody Puckett.
Lewis coming set again. The 2-0 on the way to Redmond, and he takes down low. 3 balls and no strikes to Prentice. This is certainly what not skipper Mark Mason had in mind. But we mentioned on a night like this, with the weather conditions, grip on the baseball, just overall uncomfortableness on the mound. As Lewis pitches high and away, Prentice Redmond walks. Another bases loaded walk for the Long Island Ducks. Redmond with an RBI, 3rd walk in the first inning by Rami Lewis, and the Ducks now have a 2-0 lead.
He has tied his season high in walks for an entire game here in the first inning, and Mark Mason will make the first mound visit. And again, the teams are limited to 3 timeouts in the Atlantic League, if you will, David. So this counts as timeout number 1 for the York Revolution here in the bottom of the first.
It's been something of a slow cha-cha around the bases for the Long Island Ducks, who have scored twice, but nobody has had to break into a sprint. Brian Sabatella coming in with the first Ducks run on a bases-loaded walk to John Griffin. Delta Cleary Jr. scoring on that base on balls to Prentice Redmond just moments ago. So, according to my score sheet, Lou Ford is now at third base. John Griffin is at second. Redmond's at first.
Got it right.
And Regi Corona is at the plate, the second baseman batting from the right side, holding that bat high. He's in the crouch at the plate. Rami Lewis's pitch is on the way, and he misses just outside. Didn't miss by much that time, but starts another Duck batter out with a ball, 1-0.
I would think you want to see a strike before you ever swing if you're Regi Corona the way Lewis is going.
Absolutely. Corona, the second baseman for the Ducks, came into the game at .285, a homer and 12 RBIs. Next pitch hits the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. More than just the grip on the baseball or the weather conditions, once you lose the plate, it becomes a mind game. The confidence is shaken, and you start aiming the ball, and you're done. We'll see if Lewis can get it back and what the Ducks can do at the plate. 1-1 pitch on the way to Regi is smashed. Fair ball down the right side. Left side, no. It is foul, just by a couple of inches.
I thought it was fair too, David, at first, but home plate umpire John Ramsey immediately indicated foul. That would have been at least 2 runs and maybe even 3.
Boy, Regi Corona hit that hard. He was out in front. It was a fastball. He was guessing fastball. He got it just a little out in front and just missing an extra base hit down the left field line. So the count 1-2 to Regi Corona. Bases are still loaded. 2 runs in for the Ducks, bottom of the first. And Corona again behind in the count at 1-2.
How about this, David? Rami Lewis over 30 pitches already here in the first inning.
And could get a bit longer. The Revs would love to get out of this with just 2 runs surrendered and pull off a double play. Corona, though, has good speed and is not easy to double up. Along with the fact, infield just a little moist, the ball may not reach the infielders as quickly as it would on another night. Corona at the plate, digging in. Takes his stance. Lou Ford leads off third. Griffin off second. Redmond off first. One down. Bases loaded. 1-2 pitch to Rigi Corona. Another smash that almost took the head of Kevin Baez into the stands. That was close.
Now Kevin doing a little cha-cha down there around that. He's laughing now at Lou Ford, his star player and hitting coach at third base, but no laughing matter when that ball's flying as hard and fast as it was toward KB.
Well, Corona seems locked in on the fastball from Lewis, but he's been out in front the last 2 pitches. Count remains 1-2. Again, one down, bases loaded. Ducks lead 2-0. And 1-2 the count to Corona. The pitch on the way outside. A nice grab from the catcher, De La Cruz. That one almost went all the way to the backstop. Count even, 2-2.
Well, Rami Lewis just trying to find that comfort zone now, kicking away at the third base side of the rubber. Don't know if he has any mud in his cleats, but just can't find any type of rhythm whatsoever here on a chilly, raw evening for baseball.
6'6", gangly Rami Lewis does have a bit of a herky-jerky delivery. Just a bit off so far. Next pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the mitt of catcher De La Cruz. So Corona going after what looked like ball 4, or ball 2 rather, and a 1-2 count. But Corona goes down swinging, so that's the second strikeout for Rami Lewis here in the first inning. 2 down, bases still loaded.
Yeah, it looked like a very late decision to swing by Rigi Corona, David. I think he felt he was going to get backdoored from the lefty for strike 3 and just had to wave at it to try to slash it away, and unfortunately didn't get enough of it.
This will bring up Ducks starting catcher tonight, Mike Blank. It's a .214 on the season, no homers, 4 RBIs. He takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Blank, playing in his 10th game for the Ducks this season. Taking the majority of the action behind the plate is Jose Morales. Blank, starting catcher here tonight, batting from the right side. Lewis's pitch on the way, good swing, but fouls it out of play to the right. And the count even now at 1-1.
I remember Mike Blank, David, the guy that was signed away by the Boston Red Sox organization and then returned, so that's one of the reasons those games played numbers isn't quite where everybody else is on the season.
But should he stay with the Ducks, he'll get a fair amount of playing time here, splitting the duties with Morales. 1-1 the count. Bases still loaded. 2 down. Pitch on the way inside. 2 balls and a strike. Once again, Rami Lewis is falling behind.
Ducks hoping to spin the carousel one more time. You talked about how the runs have come home. It is very carousel-like. Everybody one base at a time, station to station baseball, right?
No reason for Blank to be anxious either. All he needs to do is wait Lewis out. 2-1 pitch on the way. Inside. 3-1. So the Ducks 1 pitch away from taking a possible 3-0 lead. 2 runs already up on the board. Ducks did start this inning with 2 singles, and there have been 3 walks that followed, along with a couple of strikeouts. Bases loaded, 2 down. 3-1 pitch on the way to Blank, and there's a bouncing ball to the left side and foul that actually bounced over the head of Lou Ford, who was taking his lead in foul territory, as runners on third usually do. So the count full at 3-2 with 2 down, and everybody will be going. It's a merry-go-round.
Yeah, now we'll really spin that merry-go-round, right? All 3 runners will take off on that 2-out payoff pitch. So, boy, if Mike Blank can find a gap, he could pick up 3 quick runs batted in.
Ford off third, Griffin off second, Redmond off first base. Blank at the plate. Count is full, 2 down. Pitch from Rami Lewis on the way, out of the strike zone. Run number 3. On walk number 4 in the inning for Rami Lewis. The Ducks on another bases-loaded walk. RBI from Mike Blank have a 3-0 lead.
It's just unbelievable. Again, a guy who never walked more than 3 in a game all year has issued 4 free passes in the first inning alone, and it's walked in 3 runs. So second straight night, David, the Ducks with a 3-0 lead in the very first inning.
Lou Ford came in to score. For Ford, his 17th run scored on the season. John Griffin now moves to third. Redmond on second. Mike Blank, who just walked, is on first. Dan Lyons, the 9th man to come up in the inning and takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Many of the pitches from Rami Lewis aren't anywhere near the strike zone.
He is missing badly, and Get the unofficial number on his pitch count in just a second.
Lions at the plate at 273, no homers, 13 RBIs. Next pitch, not even close. High and away, 2-0.
Up over 40, David, and you have to remember these teams played 15 innings Sunday. They played 11 innings last night. Mark Mason doesn't want to go to his bullpen. His team has played 57 innings in the last 5 games. So he's going to be reaching that point soon, though, where he might have to go to a bullpen that's been worn out the last 5 games. Right now, another quick meeting on the hill, as this time the catcher, De La Cruz, comes out, because if Mason comes out one more time, guess what? Lewis's night is over before he even gets out of the first inning.
I guess from the Revs' point of view, if they can escape here, giving up just 3 runs, and then the hope is that Lewis will find himself and get back on track after that. Long way to go, of course, just the bottom of the first. But the Ducks looking to break it open early. 2 balls and no strikes to Dan Lyons. Pitch is on the way, and he takes it right down Carlton Avenue for a strike, 2-1.
Now, Rami Lewis, a former big leaguer, made 20 big league appearances in relief with the Toronto Blue Jays in 2010 and 2011. And his most memorable moment in the big leagues, he struck out David Ortiz, Poppy of the Boston Red Sox.
How about that? Coming set, Lewis. 2-1 pitch on the way is fouled just above us to the club section of seats, upper deck. And the count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down. Personally, I'm hoping that Rami Lewis survives, because there's a story we want to tell dealing with milking a cow that we won't get to if he's removed too quickly.
That's a great point.
And we'll get to that later.
It's not a first inning story, but he's got to get through the first inning.
2-2 with 2 down, bases loaded. Pitch to Dan Lyons outside, and we're full again. So once again, every runner on base will take off with this pitch. John Griffin off third, Redmond off second, and Mike Blank off first base. The Ducks have a 3-0 lead here in the first inning. Dan Lyons at the plate. Let's see if he can work out a bases-loaded walk. Lewis coming set. Pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Lyons swinging right through it. And how about that? Rami Lewis strikes out the side.
Incredible.
All 3 strikeouts swinging, but he also walked 4. There were 2 singles in there. In the inning for the Ducks, 3 runs, 2 hits. There were 4 walks, and they left the bases loaded at the end of 1 inning of play. That's all so far, and a long way to go. The score, the Ducks 3, York 0.
Hey fans, this is right-handed pitcher John Brownell, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 1039 LI News Radio.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Start by attending a free MCU home buying seminar. Then speak with one of our loan specialists who will guide you through the loan process. With an affordable mortgage from Municipal Credit Union, Home Sweet Home will be a little sweeter. Call 212-238-3521 or visit nymcu.org to apply for your mortgage today. Municipal Credit Union. Strong, trusted, growing. Municipal Credit Union is an equal housing opportunity lender.
M&V Limousines is the official bus company of the Long Island Ducks. Family owned and operated, they've been in the business for over 23 years. M&V Limousines offers coach buses with Wi-Fi and restrooms, party buses, exotic limousines, and so much more. Whether you're looking for transportation for weddings, proms, corporate outings, or long-distance trips, they've got the right vehicle for you. Visit their showroom in Comac or check them out online at mvlimo.com. M&V Limousines, the official bus company of the Long Island Ducks.
Well, the Ducks Health Report is brought to you by Island Shore Physical Therapy, the official therapist of the Long Island Ducks. And as far as the Ducks on the active roster are concerned, no injuries to report. Ducks will get a day off tomorrow. They need it after all this extra inning baseball. And then pick it up Thursday in Camden, New Jersey, with a 4-game set against the River Sharks. 1 game Thursday night, a day-night doubleheader on Friday, and then a night game on Saturday before they return here Sunday to take on the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And Sunday, Spider-Man will make an appearance here at the ballpark. So that should always be fun. Whenever you have a superhero in the ballpark, David, I think the youngsters tend to go a little crazy.
Absolutely.
And if Spider-Man is shooting his webs all over the place, I can't wait to see it myself.
I wonder, Chris, does Spider-Man have a website? that you should have seen that one coming.
That would kill with the 6-year-olds, I bet,
would.
David.
It would. That's usually my type of audience, too. No doubt about that. The Ducks have a 3-0 lead here going to the top of inning number 2. Chris usually catalogs this type of thing. Was that about a 20-minute half inning?
Yeah, I don't have the half. That's the thing. I wish I had the half. You're right. I can give you what the full is. I'll get to the number in a second.
All right, Luis De La Cruz, catcher for the York Revolution, leading off against the knuckleballer Mickey Janis, who gets a knuckleball over for actually just high, 1-0 to De La Cruz.
About a 35-minute inning. I'd say the Ducks were up for 25 of the 35 minutes, right?
No doubt.
Yeah.
At least. 1-1 the count to De La Cruz.
Yeah, Rami Lewis, David, 47 pitches in the first inning, but only 22 strikes.
1-1 pitch on the way. De La Cruz hits it in the air to short right field. Coming in and making the grab, Prentice Redmond with good speed. Got a good jump on it. And one down here in the top of the second.
And I think the big question, how will it affect Mickey Janis? Obviously, he sat in the dugout for a good 25 minutes. I'm sure he had the big coat on. But how will it affect him after a long delay? He's happy to get the 3 runs, but I don't know if you want to spend a half hour between innings in the home dugout.
So the 7th man in the order for the York Revolution, Johan Lamonta, the DH for the Revolution. Batting for the left side against the righty Janis. Full windup, kicks and deals, and looked like a lollipop curveball landed inside. 1-0 to Lamonta. On the season at .221, 4 homers, has knocked in 10. Quickly into the windup, the 1-0 fastball just missing the outside corner. So Janis falling behind 2-0. He walked 2, Janis did, in the top of inning number 1. Unusual for him. 2-0 pitch on the way, missing outside, 3-0. Could be one of those nights where both pitchers are going to have some problems because of the outside agents, most notably the weather, finding the strike zone. 3-0 pitch to Lamonta. Catches the inside corner for a strike, 3-1.
Yeah, not a lot of knuckleballs here so far from Mickey Janis. So maybe David, again, just trying to get that arm loose after the half-hour break with some fastballs and some sliders.
That's a good point. 3-1 pitch is on the way, and there's a knuckler that floats high. Hard knuckler. Talked about the fact he throws it harder than most other knuckle bowlers, more like an R.A. Dickey with that harder knuckler, but he loses Lamonta. That's the 3rd walk surrendered by Mickey Janis. 1 on, 1 down.
Anytime we get a knuckleballer, I think of our old friend Rob Caffiero. Remember the Punisher?
Yep.
Became a pitcher late in his career with the Long Island Ducks because he learned how to throw that knuckleball, and it was so much fun to see a guy as big as Rob was on the mound trying to get that baseball to dance for him.
Steve Proscia, 3rd baseman for the Revolution, 8th man in the order, batting from the right side, and a knuckler spins high to Proscia, 1 ball and no strikes. Because Caffiero used to come in garbage time in games when the Ducks were trailing by plenty, and that's how he started it. And we got a big kick out of seeing him get that knuckler over, and he did much of the time. 1-0 pitch to Proscia on the way. Catches the inside corner for a strike, 1-1.
I talked to a lot of players about it, David. When they're trying to hit it, the old slogan is, if it's low, let it go. If it's high, let it fly. Meaning if the ball is low, don't swing at it because the bottom's going to drop out. If it's high, you got a chance, so let it fly. Take your swing at a high knuckleball. You have much better chance of hitting it.
Proscia at the plate. Stands deep in the box. The 1-1 pitch is slammed down the right field line and skips into the seats. Down the right field line. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Proscia. There are a great many players who years ago in batting against knuckleballers such as Hoyt Wilhelm and so many others.
The Necro brothers, Charlie Huff.
Charlie Huff, of course. Yeah, the Necros would stand up on the plate.
That's right. Move up. They do say that as well, right? Go up in the box.
Yeah, try to catch it before the knuckler breaks.
That's a great point, too. Yep.
1-2 count. Janis coming set. Runner Lamonta takes his lead. A swing and a miss by Proscia, but it did tip off the glove.
I think it's going to be a wild pitch strikeout that moves Lamonta down to second base.
That's it. And it goes down as a strikeout for Proscia. A swinging strikeout, first strikeout of the game for Mickey Janis. But again, the ball got away on the knuckler from Mike Blank, the catcher for the Ducks. So moving into scoring position is Johan Lamonta. He's at second, now 2 down. And the 9th man of the order, center fielder Sean Smith at the plate. Here's the pitch from Janis, and there's an overhand slider that just misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Smith at .231. He has a homer, 1 RBI, playing in just his 5th game of the season for the Revs.
Yeah, they did charge a pass ball to Mike Blank, so not a wild pitch on that play that allowed Lamonta to go to second.
Again, Lamonta represents the first York run if they can bring him in. Still early, top of the second. Ducks have an early 3-0 lead. Pitch to Smith. Cuts the plate in half for a strike. Good fastball from Janis. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Smith. Ducks scoring 3 times in the bottom of the first. And in all 3 cases, they were bases-loaded walks. Taking advantage of early wildness from Rami Lewis, the starter for the Revs. 1-1 pitch on the way is ripped toward short. Dropped by Dan Lyons, but plenty of time to pick it up and throw to John Griffin at first for the final out here in inning number 2. For the Revolution, nothing across, no runs, just a walk, a man left at the end of 1.5. We go to the bottom of the second at Bethpage Ballpark. Score remains the Ducks 3, the Revs nothing.
Hey fans, this is shortstop Dan Lyons, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 1039 LI News Radio.
The results are in. Thousands of PSEG Long Island customers participated in our energy efficiency programs, saving nearly $35 million. Being energy efficient helps our environment too. Together, we've eliminated 21,000 cars worth of emissions in 2014. Thank you, Long Island. We're all making a difference. Discover how we're improving every day to bring you better service at www.psegliny.com/efficiency.
Have your birthday at the ballpark this season and celebrate with the flock. Kona Ice birthday party packages with the Long Island Ducks are now available. Each package includes 10 box seats, a commemorative birthday t-shirt and autographed baseball, a pizza and Kona Ice party in the Hebrew National Picnic area, and so much more. Best of all, the birthday child will stand on the dugout while the entire crowd sings happy birthday. Reserve your party today by calling the group sales department at 631-940-3825. Kona Ice birthday parties with the Long Island Ducks, a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Well, there's no better time than now to sign up the young Ducks fan in your life for the Bethpage Federal Credit Union Ducks Kids Club. Now, children 14 and under will receive exciting gifts, discounts on merchandise, and unique experiences that only come with being a member. Sign up today. Visit liducks.com or give them a call, 631-940-3825.
Brian Sabatella, the native Long Islander, still resides here, leading off here in the bottom of inning number 2. And first pitch from Rami Lewis. He picks up where he left off, basically, in inning number 1, as he misses the strike zone with a fastball, 1-0 to Sabatella, who singled right up the middle and wound up scoring the Ducks' first run in the first inning. And a fastball catches the inside corner, 1-1 to Sabatella.
For Brian, that was his league-leading 28th run scored of the year.
I don't want to scream anybody's ear off at the same time.
Sabatella at the plate. Curveball takes it for a strike. 1-2 to Brian. The Ducks sent 9 men to the plate in the first inning. The recipient of 4 walks. And they also had 3 swinging strikeouts. There were 2 singles in there. Put it all together. Blended. Outpours a frap and 3 runs for the Ducks. Coming set, Rami Lewis pitching from the stretch. Former closer. 1-2 pitch on the way as Sabatella golfs one to the outfield. That's right fielder Shannon Wilkerson waiting for it to come down and makes the catch. 1 down.
It's got to be great for Rami Lewis's confidence just to get an out on the first batter he faced, and also, David, to get ahead. I can't remember him being ahead in the count against any hitter in that first inning. He was ahead 1-2 on Brian Sabatella on his 50th pitch of the night.
It's a good point. I think the only batter who fell behind 1-2 was Ricci Corona.
Yeah, it might have been, yeah.
And he ended up striking out. But everyone else was well ahead in the count. And again, there were 4 walks along the way and 3 bases-loaded walks, supplying the Ducks with an early 3-0 lead. Delta Cleary Jr. also singled his first time up. He swings. It's a little flare foul into the stands to the right side. No balls, 1 strike to Delta Cleary Jr. 4 for 4 with a run scored in the 11th inning. Duck win last night here at Bethpage Ballpark, 4-3 over the Revs. Cleary Jr., 0-1, swings and misses out in front of a changeup, and a good one from Rami Lewis. It's 0-2.
And also tied a team record, Delta did, by stealing 3 bases last night. Many Ducks have done it, but he joins that group. What a game a night ago for Delta.
He doubled his stolen base number from 3 to 6 in 1 game. 0-2 pitch is a tapper, left side, just foul.
And that is amazing, right? He only stole 3 bases all year, and then steals 3 in a game. Incredible.
He had something figured out last night. One of the key components to the Ducks' 4-3 win.
Well, can he stay perfect here, David? 5 for 5 now the last 2 nights. His Delta Cleary Jr. has been aboard all 6 times, throwing a walk last night as well.
Went the other way with a seeing eye base hit to right. And here he grounds one into the turf, skips foul down the left field line, and the count remains 0-2 to Delta Cleary Jr. Lou Ford waiting on deck. Enthusiastic fans turning out on a night that is a little less than perfect weather-wise, but giving the Ducks all they've got. 0-2 pitch on the way, and Cleary Jr. hits it in the air to the right side. Shannon Wilkerson again waiting for it to come down, and it does in his mitt. 2 up, 2 flies to right, and 2 down.
Well, David, I do think it's perfect weather if you're a Duck, though. Would you agree?
Absolutely. For those fans with webbed feet, they're feeling great tonight. Weather just ducky. But you know, summer does begin a few weeks from now, June 21st. And you know that at some point in the next month, we'll be saying, it's so hot.
Yep, that's right. That's right. It won't be long. You're right.
We'll be whining. And after the winter we've had, even this isn't that bad. Just think back to what we endured for the winter of 2014, 2015. Lou Ford at the plate, and he takes outside fastball 1-0. Lou walked his first time up, the first of 4 walks issued by Rami Lewis in the first inning, and would eventually come around to score on a bases-loaded walk. As Lou takes a fastball on the outside corner, 1-1. Lou scoring the first of the 3 runs for the Ducks in inning number 1. 1-1, 2 out, nobody on. Coming set, Rami Lewis trying to right the ship. And the next one is slammed deep left field. If it stays fair, it could be trouble, and it is foul, but not by much.
He smoked it down the left field line with a pole. Is again 325 feet away. It just went to the left of that pole. For a second, David, I thought it had a chance to ring off the pole for a home run, but Lou didn't miss it by much. And boy, Rami Lewis, whatever that pitch was, he won't be throwing that again to Lou.
Lou was just out in front, and the ball had a little, if not a hook, use a golfer's expression, that had a power draw off the tee and drew to the left, barely missing a homer. 1-2 the count with 2 down as Lewis comes set, and the delivery to Lou is outside. After what Lou just did, Lewis wasn't coming anywhere near the plate, is now even at 2-2.
Yeah, Lou Ford hitting .388 against lefties this year, so he has just been eating them up if they're southpaws.
Then again, Lou eats everybody
Yeah,
up.
that's true too.
Count 2-2 with 2 down, nobody on. Pitch to Lou, and he slaps it back toward the netting. Staying alive, the count remains at 2-2. Cleanup man Cody Puckett is waiting on deck.
How about Rami Lewis, though, David? If he gets Lou Ford here, he goes from a first inning where he faced 9 batters and threw almost 50 pitches to a 1-2-3 second.
And that first inning so strange in that he struck out the side along the way. 2-2 pitch to Lou, a tapper back to the mound, and that 6'6" frame of Rami Lewis reaches out, snares it, throws it to Andres Perez at first base for the final out. So just what we said has happened. Rami Lewis goes from a very shaky first inning to getting the Ducks in order 1-2-3 here in the second inning. Nothing across. We have finished 2 at Bethpage Ballpark. Score remains the Ducks 3, the Revolution nothing.
Hey fans, this is pitcher Patrick Kreider, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 1039 LI News Radio.
James Simmons is going back. He is looking up, and on Bark in the Park Night, that one is gone and reaches a kennel in Central Islip.
That was another home run for the Ducks. And Duck fans, what's more fun than a home run that helps the Ducks win a game? How about a homer that helps the community win? Chappie's Funeral Home and the Long Island Ducks have once again teamed up for the Chappie's Home Run Challenge. If the Ducks hit 100 homers this season, Chappie's Funeral Home will donate $5,000 to the Quackerjack Foundation. So every time a Ducks hitter goes deep this season, watch for the Chappie's Challenge home run count on the scoreboard. And if we reach 100, we're all a winner. Chappie's Funeral Home, where caring for others is a family tradition.
Can't get enough of the Long Island Ducks? Well, now you can get even more inside info on your favorite hometown team through Facebook and Twitter. The Ducks are constantly updating fans through social media with scores, transactions, ballpark promotions, and much more. You can even win great prizes. All you'll need to do is make a free account on Facebook and Twitter, and then visit us at facebook.com/LIDucks and twitter.com/LIDucks. Think you're Long Island's biggest Ducks fan? Get connected now.
Ducks with a 3-0 lead as we head to inning number 3. Last night in the Atlantic League up in Bridgeport, the Ducks got no help from the Bluefish of the Somerset Patriots. Top Bridgeport, 8-1 was the final there. The Pats remain 5 games ahead of the Ducks atop the Liberty Division. Doubleheader down in Sugar Land, Texas. The team split a pair as Southern Maryland took game 1 5-1, and the Skeeters took the nightcap 13-5. Camden and Lancaster in Pennsylvania last night postponed due to rain.
Here's a rhetorical question. Don't the Somerset Patriots ever get tired of being in contention?
I know, right?
After year.
Every year. You are right.
Yep. Going back to the Sparky Lyle days, just, how much more can we hear along the streets of Bridgewater, New Jersey? Somerset Patriots!
Yep, you got it.
That screaming chant that they have that echoes around the community. Shannon Wilkerson, top of inning number 3. It's 1-1. Starter Mickey Janis on the mound. He has struck out 1, he has walked 3, he has not surrendered a run or a hit as of yet. Wilkerson bounced to third his first time up. Righty-righty matchup as Janis with a knuckler that comes high and tight. It's 2 balls and a strike to Wilkerson.
Then we talked about both of these pitchers, top 10 in the league in ERA. Neither has given up more than 3 runs in a game all year.
Next pitch on the way is tapped to the right side and foul. To the right of John Griffin at first base, and the count now 2-2 to Wilkerson.
How about Mickey Janis? Runs against in his last 5 outings. 0-0, 1-1-1. Again, a couple of those are relief appearances, but still 3 total runs against in his last 5 games combined.
Janis has been a gem for the Ducks this season. Wilkerson swinging and missing. And going down on strikes. And that looked to be a fastball, a rising fastball from Mickey Janis, who gets his second strikeout, and again it's swinging.
And he's got everything working here. You throw out the walks, he's having a terrific game. He's walked 3, but otherwise he's been in total control the whole night.
Brings up Wilson Valdez, the Dominican Republic native. Walked his first time up and would proceed to steal his 11th base of the season. Valdez with plenty of speed has only been caught stealing once, so you try to keep him off the bags if possible as Janis hits the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Quickly into the windup, and the delivery. There's a fastball missing downstairs, 1-1. With 1 out, nobody on, top of inning number 3. Revolution and Long Island Ducks. Long Island with an early 3-0 lead. 3 bases loaded walks in the bottom of the first. That's how they scored their 3. A good curveball from Janis, and it's 1-2 to Valdez.
I'll give you another description of what it's like to try to hit a knuckleball. This is my favorite one, David, from our old friend Dave LaPointe, the former big league pitcher and, of course, manager and pitching coach of the Ducks.
1-2 pitch to Valdez on the way, and he hits it into the ground. A worm burner to Dan Lyons, reaches down, snares it, throws across to Griffin, 2 down.
This is what Dave LaPointe said about what it's like to try to hit a knuckleball.
Go.
I quote him, "It is like trying to eat soup with chopsticks." That is pointer to a T, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's my favorite knuckleball description from Dave.
I thought you were going to go with soup with a fork, which is an expression we've all heard.
Yep.
Chopsticks.
Yep.
It's even tougher than eating it with a fork.
Yep.
Because a meaty soup, you could probably go with a fork. I know I'm overthinking this, but it's true. Chopsticks and a fork, that's what a knuckleball brings to you. Brian Pounds at the plate, 0-1. As Janis hits the outside corner. Pounds lined to center his first time up. Good play. Running back was Lou Ford to his right and backwards, making the catch. And a foul back to the screen. Pounds in an 0-2 hole against Mickey Janis. One thing about Janis, not only is he around the strike zone more often than not, but he pitches quickly, a la Randy Leake, John Brownell, and so many other pitchers in Ducks history. 0-2 pitch on the way to Pounds. There's a swing, a miss, a tag as the ball was dropped momentarily by Mike Blank. Another swinging strikeout, third K of the game for Mickey Janis. 3 up, 3 down, nothing across. We go to the bottom of the third in Central Islip at Bethpage Ballpark, and the score remains the Ducks 3, the Revolution nothing.
Hey fans, this is outfielder Brian Sabatella, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 1039 LI News Radio.
Spring into a new Honda at Huntington Honda and pay $59 a month for a new 2015 Honda Civic LX sedan. $59. So spring into Huntington Honda on Jericho Turnpike just east of Route 110 or huntingtonhondacars.com.
Huntington Honda, discover the difference.
Auto 24-month lease, total due at inception. Civic $31.90 includes bank fee, first month's payment, no security deposit. Taxes, DMV, title fees extra with excellent credit through HFS.
Baseball fans, the Long Island Ducks mobile app has officially arrived. Powered by Clear Vision Apps, it's your one-stop shop for all things Ducks baseball. Buy tickets straight from your mobile device. Receive game status updates with push notifications. Check out up-to-the-minute news and scores and interact with the Ducks on social media. Best of all, it's free. Download the Ducks mobile app today by visiting the App Store on your Apple-powered device or Google Play on your Android-powered device. The Long Island Ducks mobile app, with you wherever you flock to.
Hey, Duck fans, the final out of the top of the third inning was the 15th out of today's game. Did you know that a 15-minute call to Geico could save you 15% or more on your car insurance? Get a free quote today. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. That's 1-800-947-AUTO or visit geico.com. And here comes Cody Puckett leading off the bottom of the third for the Long Island Ducks, who have a 3-0 lead here at Bethpage Ballpark over the York Revolution. The Cody chant goes up from the fans on hand here tonight. Good number of them, too, on a night that is, as we've mentioned over and over, not great for baseball. But the diehards are here, the faithful flock, as they are known. First pitch, fastball missing from Rami Lewis. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Puckett struck out his first time up. 1-0 pitch on the way, good cut from Cody. Fouls it back to the netting. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. To Cody Puckett. Puckett with 4 homers on the season. He is second on the Ducks to John Griffin's 7 in the dinger department. Next pitch on the way, just gets a piece, fouls it straight back. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Puckett. So 9 men came to the plate against Rami Lewis, who had trouble finding the strike zone in the first inning. Ducks got 3 bases loaded walks for 3 runs. Had a couple of hits as well. Second inning, Rami Lewis rights the ship. Retires the Ducks in order. And he's ahead in the count, 1-2 on Puckett here. And Puckett slams it, base hit left field. Cody all over that fastball from Rami Lewis. Puckett now 1 for 2, a leadoff single for the Long Island Ducks cleanup man, and it brings up Big John Griffin with 1 man on, nobody out. And as I look behind me, Chris King is just loading up on the attire, adding 1 layer after another. He looks like the Michelin Man at this point. I think you're ready to become a float in the Thanksgiving Day parade, Chris. Well, I'm not even that cold. I'm just wearing a couple of layers here. Griffin at the plate. He walked with the bases loaded. His first time up, and he swings and misses on a good changeup from Rami Lewis that floated outside. 0-1 to Griffin, who with that bases loaded walk drove his 26th run of the season. The first of 3 bases on balls with the bases jammed in the first inning. And a check swing by Griffin. He did go around, and I believe it nipped the outside corner anyway. No balls and 2 strikes to Griffin with Cody Puckett on first, nobody out. Puckett in the thievery department is 1 for 1 in steals this season. Not an overly big threat to go. 0-2 pitch on the way, right back to the box. Snared by Rami Lewis. He throws it away into center field. Cody Puckett will streak to third base. And on an error is John Griffin. Rami Lewis, the first half of that equation was perfect. Like King Henrik Lundqvist reacted, made the glove save, turned, and then fired it wide of second base into center field. Ducks have runners on the corners, nobody out.
That was a tailor-made 1-6-3 double play. And as you said it, Rami Lewis kind of just short-armed it down to second, threw it right by both middle infielders, and the Ducks benefit. Now first and third, nobody out.
Brings up Prentice Redmond, last night's hero on the bottom of the 11th, ending it with a win for the Long Island Ducks. Redmond walked with the bases loaded his first time up, and the first pitch just catches the outside corner for a strike. 0-1. Redmond on the season now with 9 RBIs. Getting that bases loaded walk in the first inning. Puckett leads off third base. Griffin off first. Ducks trying to add to their 3-0 lead. Next pitch way outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Prentice Redmond.
Well, for the Revs, their league-leading 46th error of the year. Their problems have been pitching and defense. Highest ERA of any team as well.
And Lewis has become a little unraveled here in the bottom of the third. 2-1 pitch on the way, and that just misses inside. And it's 3 balls and a strike to Redmond.
I wonder if that sticks in his head, David. Again, he was so close to having 2 outs, nobody on after a 1-2-3 inning, and now he might be in for a long one.
3-1 pitch on the way to Redmond, and he takes inside corner for a strike. Count now full at 3-2. So skipper Kevin Baez may have a choice here whether or not to put John Griffin in motion at first base. Of course, he's got Puckett at third as well. Infield is playing back, so skipper Mark Mason would give up a 4th run to the Long Island Ducks in order to get 2 outs. I think the fact it's only the bottom of the third has something to do with that decision. Count full. Pitch on the way to Redmond, and there's a bounding ball left side and just foul. Near Kevin Baez, taken by third baseman Steve Proscia. So the count remains full at 3-2.
And the Revs had finally righted the ship, David. They came in last night on a 4-game winning streak, their first 4-game winning streak of the year, lost in 11 innings. But after a real rough start that saw them win just 10 of their first 29 games, they finally came around.
Pitch to Redmond is a ground ball left side, taken by the third baseman Steve Proscia. The throw home is in time. Nailed at home is Cody Puckett on a bang-bang play. Proscia really had only one choice to come home, with Cody Puckett running on contact and thrown out at the plate for the first out here in the third.
Well, remember, Cody Puckett was not forced. It was first and third, so he made the decision on a ball chopped to third. It wasn't hit particularly hard that he would try to beat it home, but give Steve Proscia, the third baseman, credit. Good throw to the catcher, Louis De La Cruz, and trying to dance around the tag was Cody Puckett, but he was tagged out at home plate.
So Redmond replacing John Griffin at first base. Griffin is at second now, and Cody Puckett was thrown out. So you got Griffin at second now, Redmond at first. And the pitch to Ricci Corona is well off the plate. Fastball, 1-0. Corona struck out in that first inning. The Ducks, in fact, had 3 swinging strikeouts in the first inning. Corona was one of them. They were also the recipients of 4 walks, had a couple of singles for their 3 runs. Still looking to add at least 1 here, but there's 1 down, and now runners on first and second. Pitch to Corona on the way. Holds up, and it lands inside. It's 2-0 to Ricci. I'll tell you, Chris, we've had a lot happen in only 2.5.
Yes, we have.
Not quite 3 innings. A little bit of everything so far, and it's still a long way to go.
Yeah, a lot of walks, a couple of runs, a couple of errors.
It's been a potpourri so far. And the Ducks have the 3-0 lead. Coming set, Lewis checks the runners. 2-0 pitch on the way is tipped back to the screen by Ricci Corona. So the count now 2-1 with 1 down and 2 runners on.
The Ducks have dominated the Revs this year, David. They've won every series from York. They're 6-2 against the Revs this year. They took 2 out of 3 in York to open the season, swept the Revs in Pennsylvania in a 3-game series in May, and tonight trying to take another series here in the rubber game.
Coming set, Rami Lewis again checks the runners at second and at first. The 2-1 pitch on the way to Corona, and again he takes a big hack, just gets a piece, dribbles behind home plate, back to the netting. And the count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with catcher Mike Blank, the 8th man in the order, waiting on deck.
Now see, Rami Lewis would be used to this weather, David. He's from Seattle, Washington, where, again, if you believe what they say, it rains more there than anywhere else in the U.S. So he's used to these conditions.
No doubt about that. Seattle, from all those I've spoken to have been there, beautiful city.
It is, yep.
But, yeah, gray skies and plenty of rain. Coming set, Rami Lewis. Ricci Corona at the plate. Pitch on the way. There's a ground ball to the left side. It is taken, botched by Steve Proscia. Throw to first, not in time. Everybody safe.
Well, we'll see how they scored. It was a tough play as Proscia was trying to backhand it right next to the bag, but they are going to charge the error to Proscia. So the second error of the inning for the Revs, and tack another one on. 47 errors on the year for the Revs in a department you don't want to lead the league in.
Yeah, that was a tough play. It was a in-between hop near the third base bag, just barely fair. Corona speeding down first base. Would have been a close play regardless, but the base is now loaded. Corona at first, Redmond at second, John Griffin at third. Mike Blank is at the plate. Pitch on the way, a big golfing swing by Blank, and swings through it. No balls and a strike. Blank came up with the bases loaded in the first inning and worked out a walk, the fourth issued by Rami Lewis in that first frame. And that scored the Ducks' third run. Ducks looking to add to the 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. 0-1 the count to Mike Blank with one down. And once again, the Ducks with the bases loaded. It seems for most of this game to this point, the Ducks.
A year ago, and his most recent outing was his longest of the year. The 6 innings he tossed Thursday in Camden tied his season high of a 6-inning stint the time out before that.
It's usually what you try to do with closers who become starters or relievers, stretch them out little by little. 0-2 pitch to Blank, a swing, a miss. Looked like a foul tip at the plate. So Blank stays alive, and the count remains 0-2.
Yeah, just got a piece of that ball straight down into the dirt behind the dish, and another opportunity for Mike Blank here to do something and add to a 3-0 lead in the third.
Dan Lyons, Mr. Clutch, ninth man of the order, waiting on deck for the Ducks. Then we'll turn it right back to the top of the order if we get that far. Looking for the double play, infield playing back, the York Revolution. 0-2 the count to Mike Blank. Pitch on the way, just inside. Nope, inside corner delay strike call from home plate umpire John Ramsey, and Blank goes down looking 2 down.
The fourth strikeout of the night for Lewis, but his first backwards K in the book. As Blank can't take a pitch that close, David, at 0-2, and obviously he got locked up.
So the Ducks still have one more shot to take advantage of this situation with the bases loaded.
Lions would like a little revenge. Lewis struck him out with the bases loaded to end the first.
So with 2 down, bases loaded, Dan Lyons at the plate from the right side against the lefty Lewis, and this ground ball to short. Taken by Wilson Valdez. He will flip to second baseman Brian Pounds, and the threat goes by the boards for the Long Island Ducks. And the York Revolution wriggle out of a big jam here in the third. In the inning for the Ducks, no runs, a hit, an error, and they left the bases loaded at the end of 3 at Bethpage Ballpark. The score remains the Ducks 3, the Revolution nothing.
Hey fans, this is catcher Mike Blank, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 1039 LI News Radio.
Few places on earth offer the charm and excitement of Fire Island. At Fire Island Ferries, located conveniently at 99 Maple Avenue in Bay Shore, they offer convenient travel to Fire Island 7 days a week. Fire Island is quickly becoming a top destination for families of all ages. Experience the informal, carefree communities, the dazzling night scene, enjoy fine dining, or climb to the top of one of the tallest lighthouses in the United States. But there's only one way to get there, by calling Fire Island Ferries at 631-665-3600 today. For fare and scheduling information, please visit fireislandferries.com.
Hey Ducks fans, stay up to date with Long Island's hometown team by visiting Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks. Quack of the Bat will bring Ducks fans beyond the headlines with in-depth feature articles, breaking news stories, game previews, post-game wrap-ups, and so much more. Interact with the team during the entire season through quotes directly from the players and coaches, as well as exclusive video clips and photos. Check out the blog today at quackofthebat.wordpress.com. Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks.
Back at Bethpage Ballpark, David Weiss along with Chris King. The Long Island Ducks leading the York Revolution, going to the top of inning number 4, 3-0. Let's turn it over for the next 4 innings to my buddy Chris King, who also happens to have tonight's Ducks trivia question.
Well, it concerns knuckleballers, David. Again, we'll give you the question here in the top of the inning, the answer in the bottom of the frame, and see if you can come up with this one. There have been 7 no-hitters tossed in Atlantic League history. Of course, the first we both remember very well, Rod Henderson of the Long Island Ducks back in 2001. But one of those 7 no-hitters was thrown by a knuckleballer. So who is the only knuckleballer to throw a no-hitter in Atlantic League history? There's your question.
Very good question, too, and I think all of us remember R.A. Dickey with the Mets, who had a brilliant one-hitter, one of the best pitch games I've ever seen from a knuckleballer a few years ago before he was traded away to the Toronto Blue Jays. So knuckleballers, when they're on, even if they walk the ballpark, they can sometimes flirt with a no-hitter, and in one case, there was one thrown in the Atlantic League. I'm going to have to think about that.
All right, he's played for a bunch of different Atlantic League teams, a veteran. He's played for Nashua, he's played for Newark, he's played for Southern Maryland. So a veteran Atlantic League pitcher who threw a no-hitter is what we're looking for. Again, we go to the 4th. The Ducks with a 3-0 lead in their knuckleballer, Mickey Janis, to start with a cleanup man, Andres Perez for the Revs. And Mickey misses low and in with ball 1. Andres drew a base on balls back in the opening inning for the Revs. Janis into the full windup is 1-0. Is pop foul high behind home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andres Perez.
And usually it's around the top of the 4th when I turn to Chris and I say something that puts the whammy on a game. When I say something like, boy, this game's zipping right along. No need to say that tonight.
Yes, we have taken, an hour and 15 minutes to play 3 innings because of the wildness of Rami Lewis. And here Mickey Janis misses in tight, 2 balls and a strike. So I think it can only get quicker from here, David, unless I just put the whammy on it, of course.
Well, the Ducks will take the 3-0 lead if it took a little while to get to it.
Up high, misses Janis, and it's 3-1. So Mickey, again, who's walked 3 in the game, is coming off his first 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 3rd, where he also struck out a pair of Revolution. 3-1 pitch here to Perez. And that on the ground is short for Dan Lyons. Down to a knee quickly. Pops up, throws across. 1 hop, scooped down on the backhand by John Griffin. And now they say he wasn't on the base, David.
Oh, wow.
They say Griffin's foot was not on first base. And immediately, Kevin Baez out to argue. So ruled safe is Andres Perez.
Yeah, this argument will go nowhere, of course. There is no replay in the Atlantic League. I would love to have seen a replay of that. John Griffin is standing there, letting the argument take place without him. So I'm not sure if Griffin realizes that his foot came away, but nonetheless, even if his foot came off, it was one heck of a scoop at first.
Did a great job. I mean, dug it out, backhand side, short throw by Dan Lyons. And we'll see how it's also scored. The Revs do not have a hit in the game, and I don't think that can possibly be a hit. That's a routine ground ball to short, but who do you charge the error on? I guess it's going to have to be Dan Lyons.
I think so.
For putting the throw in the dirt. Again, and it's gone up as a hit for the Revs, and I just can't understand that one. That cannot be a hit to me. They might revisit that, but Andres Perez at first with the first official hit of the game at this time for the Revs, and here's Brandon Boggs. And missing in is Janis. It's 1-0 to Boggs, who grounded out to John Griffin at first back in the opening inning, the final out of the visitors' first. So I don't see any way, David. Can you score that a hit?
No. It's a simple equation. Had it taken place without a problem, would the batter have been out? And he would have been.
Yep. Yep. I think eventually that might be changed to an error to Dan Lyons. And again, the only reason it gains a little significance here, it's only the 4th inning, but it is the first hit of the game on the board right now for the Revolution from their cleanup man and first baseman. So he's at first with a short lead, and Boggs will wait a second as throwing over is Mickey Janis here to bring Perez back closer to the bag. He has 1 steal this year in 2 tries, does Andres Perez. 3-0 Ducks, top of the 4th. Long Island, 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error. The Revs, no runs, right now 1 hit and 2 errors. Mickey Janis, the right-hander from the middle of the rubber, comes set, is 2-0, is outside for ball 3.
Well, the last thing you want to do is give Revolution a little hope here, a little life, by getting a few runners on with nobody out to start the 4th inning. The Ducks, a 3-0 lead, but a long way to go.
So a 3-0. Let's see if Boggs takes all the way. thought about it, laid off it, and it's an inside strike, 3-1. Brandon Boggs watched his 7-game hitting streak come to an end here last night as he went 0 for 5. Struck out a couple of times as well in the Revs' 11-inning loss that snapped their season-high 4-game winning streak. 3-1, ripped foul down the right field line. He was out ahead, and the count full.
Again, we give a high five and a pat on the back to all the fans who have turned out here tonight. I mean, you take a look, it is still drizzling. I mean, the rain is light, but we're all saturated from what we've experienced the last several days. There's no place for this rain to go.
Not at all, so they get the merit badges here tonight, no doubt about it, not ideal conditions. A payoff is skied foul high on the third base side, and we'll do it again. A lot of umbrellas up, a lot of hoods are up, a lot of baseball hats, some ponchos around the ballpark as well.
Oh, yeah, it's a poncho palooza here tonight.
I think you should patent that. I like that.
I like it too.
Poncho Palooza, an event that only occurs in the rain, the Poncho Palooza.
We should have a poncho night. Wait until
poncho night.
There's a torrential downpour and have a poncho night.
Well, the Ducks 3-0 lead, but the Revs trying to climb back in. Ducks led 3-0 last night. Revs tied it at 3 before York lost in 11 innings. The payoff again, and that pulled foul again, this time down the right field line.
And give credit to Brandon Boggs. He's pulling a Wade Boggs here by fouling off everything in sight to stay alive. Count full, trailing by 3. Manager Mark Mason not putting his runner in motion here.
Brandon is no relation to Wade Boggs. Although last night, Sean Tuffle, the losing pitcher for the Revs, is the son of the former Met Tim Tuffle.
How about that?
So we did have a father-son connection in last night's game. And Brandon Boggs will get another 3-2 from Mickey Janis, and he pops it up on the infield left side. Third baseman Cody Puckett over near the warning track in foul territory. A big two-handed squeeze for Cody after dropping a foul ball in the opening inning for an error, and there's one away.
Suffice to say, with these weather conditions tonight, nothing hit in the air is easy. Even the outfielders are very carefully measuring every fly hit their way. And that's true on the infield as well. So, nice foul catch made over at third by Cody Puckett, and a big first out.
So 1 on, 1 out, and here's the 6th man and catcher from the right side. It's Luis De La Cruz for the Revolution. Mickey Janis, a check over his left shoulder of Andres Perez at first. And then a bouncing ball to third for Cody Puckett. To second for 1, Rigi Corona on the first, and that is an around the horn, inning-ending 5-4-3 double play. For the Revs, no hits, a run, nobody left on the twin killing. We go to the bottom of the 4th on Long Island. The Ducks lead the Revolution 3-0.
Hey fans, this is Jose Morales, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 1039 LI News Radio.
Hey, Ducks fans, the official hotel of the Long Island Ducks is the Upsky Long Island Hotel in Hauppauge. It's centrally located on the north shore of Long Island and offers a home away from home for both business and leisure guests. The Upsky Long Island Hotel features an indoor pool, 24-hour business center, a fitness center, and complimentary Wi-Fi in all guest rooms. Enjoy the contemporary American cuisine at the Fountain Grill restaurant or grab a quick bite to eat at Cafe Pronto. Best of all, it's only minutes from Bethpage Ballpark. The Upsky Long Island Hotel, the official hotel of the Long Island Ducks. Call 231-1100 today. That's 631-231-1100.
Family fun every time.
Beautiful evening for baseball.
Big action every time.
He reaches up, it's gone!
Great value every time.
And the Ducks have won it 7-1.
The Ducks schedule is loaded with new promotions this season, and with an average ticket price of just $10 and free parking, there is no better value on Long Island. For game times and tickets, visit liducks.com. Long Island Ducks Baseball. Good times every time.
Chris King and David Weiss back at soggy Bethpage Ballpark in Central Islip, New York. We thank you so much for tuning in to Ducks Baseball tonight, making us part of your Tuesday evening entertainment. Whether you're listening online at liducks.com or watching along at youtube.com/ducksbaseball, or, of course, checking it out on the Game of the Week on our flagship radio station, 103.9 LI News Radio. We do appreciate you stopping by. So far, good night for Long Island. They take a 3-0 lead to the last of the fourth, and lefty Rami Lewis, the starter for the Revs, who threw 47 pitches to get through the first inning tonight, is amazingly still out there come inning number 4. Again, eventually, he allowed 3 runs in that first inning, but left the bases loaded. Last inning, left the bases loaded as well. So he has been in and out of trouble all night long. But with his pitch count up over 80, Rami Lewis, the converted reliever, who's now a starter, goes back to work to the top of the order. Brian Sabatella, the leadoff man and DH tonight for Long Island, stands in from the right side. First pitch from Lewis is outside for ball 1. Brian singled up the middle and scored as part of the 3-run first, and has also flied out to right field. Rami Lewis's 1-0 is in there. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brian Sabatella.
And that infield single by Andres Perez, which would have been the first hit against Mickey Janis, has been changed to an E6 by an apologetic official scorer.
Well, we had a feeling, David, it might change. And again, any time it occurred, I think the correct call was error. But when your pitcher has not given up a hit prior, it certainly carries a little more significance. I know we're only in the 4th inning, but still, you want to get the call correct, and I'm glad to see that it was changed.
It was.
To an E6, so second error of the game for the Long Island Ducks, and the York Revs remain hitless through 4 innings. Sabatella check swing, foul ball here behind the Ducks dugout, and the count holds at 1-2. So again, I came up with this trivia question long before the Ducks had a pitcher who happened to be a knuckleballer who happened to not give up a hit.
Now we put the total whammy on it.
Well, I'm saying I don't want to be doing that, all right? The question came long before Mickey Janis went into the 4th inning without giving up a hit. I don't want anybody on me for that, but we do have to answer our 4th inning trivia. There have been 7 no-hitters in Atlantic League history. One of them thrown by a knuckleballer. David, he spent a lot of time in this league. I don't know, I think you would remember the name. He pitched for Nashua, Newark, but mostly Southern Maryland the last couple of years as Sabatella takes down and away. Do you want to take a stab at it, or?
Give me the initials.
The initials are JG.
JG.
JG. Faced the Ducks an awful lot, and that's where I got all those knuckleball stories.
I'm going to kick myself.
The payoff here to Sabatella, punched in a left center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. So Brian Sabatella, big turn at first, and then he'll head back as the leadoff man aboard for Long Island.
A little bloop base hit for Brian Sabatella, leading off an inning for the 2nd time in this game. Did it in the bottom of the 1st, does it here in the 4th. Actually, he's done it 3 times now, leading off an inning, in the 2nd inning as well. So as far as that trivia question, I just can't come up.
All right, Joe Gannon.
Yes, of course.
Of the Newark Bears
There you go.
is when he threw the no-hitter. He did it in Somerset County, New Jersey against the Patriots, August 17th, 2004. And it was a memorable game, not just because it was a no-hitter, but Ricky Henderson made 2 great catches for the Newark Bears. The Hall of Famer, that's right, Ricky Henderson, played in this league and played many games at this ballpark. But Ricky, I'm sure, would tell you after the game that Ricky had a couple of great catches.
Speaking in the third person, as always.
But Ricky gave Joe Gannon, the knuckleballer, a no-hitter, one of 7 in Atlantic League history. Delta Cleary Jr., a ball and a strike on him. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. And remember, too, that Joe Gannon was a guy who was a bullpen catcher for Tim Wakefield, and that's how he learned to throw the knuckleball. So Wakefield taught Gannon how to throw that pitch. We also remember that Gannon, I believe, got a call from Phil Niekro, probably the most famous knuckleballer in Major League history, after he threw that no-hitter. Just, Phil loved anybody that threw that pitch through here by Delta Cleary Jr., and the count now 2-2. So Rami Lewis, as we mentioned, I think we're both surprised, David, he's still around in the 4th inning because he almost didn't get out of the 1st. But his manager's confidence in him has paid off here, as he has not allowed a run since and only 1 base hit since as well. Check that 2 now with Sabatella at first. 2-2 here, hit the second, should be 2. Pounds a flip to short, Valdez on to first, and Delta Cleary Jr. grounds into a 4-6-3 double play.
And I think one of the keys in manager Mark Mason wanting to go as long as he can with Rami Lewis. You take a look at the number of pitchers he has used over the last 2 games.
Yep.
26 innings against the Long Island Ducks. He was just praying that Lewis would somehow get out of the first inning and limit the damage. 3 runs, considering the Ducks could have scored even more than that, leaving the bases loaded. Ducks left the bases loaded again in the 3rd inning and were unable to add to a 3-0 lead. So Lewis still around and may stick around for a while longer.
Well, here's Lewis against Lou, David, our favorite matchup. Lou Ford against Rami Lewis.
There you go.
And ball 1 misses up and away. Lou Ford tonight, the guy everybody calls Lou, is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. So 3-0 Ducks last of the 4th after the double play. 2 out, nobody aboard. Rami Lewis misses low and away. It's 2-0. The Revs used 7 relievers here Sunday in the 15-inning game, and they used 3 last night in the 11-inning loss. So 10 relievers. Everybody in their pen has seen action in the series already. The 2-0 is in there for a strike. It's 2-1 now to Lou Ford.
Yeah, this is one of those games where if the Ducks had piled up the runs at some point, you know that Mason would have gone with a position player and not gone to yet another reliever, but it's still close.
2-1 is on the ground to short again for Wilson Valdez. He will loop it across to first, and the Ducks are retired. No runs a hit, nobody left on the twin killing, knocked into by Delta Cleary Jr. We're through 4 on the island. It is the Flock 3 and the Revs nothing.
Hey fans, this is Sergio Perez, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on the Long Island home for news, traffic, and weather. 1039 LI News Radio.
Beautify your patio, walkway, driveway, or pool surround with Nicoloc paving stones and walls. Nicoloc's specially formulated paver shield offers extra surface wear protection and color enhancement throughout the thickness of the paver. Paver shield guarantees that your pavers will look great for years to come. Bring home the elegance with Nicoloc. Visit the Nicoloc Design Center, Sunrise Highway, Lindenhurst, or Nicoloc.com.
Let Nicoloc pavers pave your way.
Enjoy the ultimate VIP fan experience at Bethpage Ballpark this season by taking in a Ducks game from the brand new Trout Town Fan Can. Presented by Roscoe Beer Company, the Fan Can is available for rental at all Ducks home games. It features 12 Dream Seat theater-style padded seats, beverage holders, an air-conditioned atmosphere, and an incredible view of the game. Packages are now available with food and beverage included. To reserve your Fan Can outing today, call the Ducks Group Sales Department at 631-940-3825. The Trout Town Fan Can at Bethpage Ballpark. Your VIP experience has arrived.
Well, fans, don't forget to stop by the Waddle Inn Shop on your next visit here to the Duck Pond, Bethpage Ballpark in CI, where exclusive, hard-to-find Ducks memorabilia is now on sale. Proceeds, as always, benefit the Quacker Jack Foundation, helping so many people, the charitable arm of the Long Island Ducks.
Well, the Ducks take a 3-0 lead into inning number 5, and right-handed knuckleballer Mickey Janis to work against the bottom third of the order, starting with a 7-man in DH, Johan Lamonta. Again, between innings, Andres Perez, who was ruled to have a base hit in the 4th inning, had that taken away. It was changed to an error on the shortstop, Dan Lyon. So the Revs still hitless here into inning number 5. Janis a strike on the outside edge, and the count 1-1 against Lamonta, who drew a walk back in the 2nd inning in his only other plate appearance. Janis's 1-1 is a backdoor curve that nails the outside corner at the knees for strike 2.
Just seems overall Mickey Janis has thrown fewer knucklers on average than he has in previous starts here, using a lot of fastballs.
I've seen a lot too, Dave. A lot of fastballs, a lot of sliders. Here it's pounded foul down the right.
Nonetheless, Revolution batters seem off balance.
1-2 here. Oh, it buckled his knees for strike 3. What a pitch from Mickey Janis. 4th strikeout of the night, and his first one looking. There's one away.
Yeah, Lamonta didn't know what to do there. He didn't know where it was going. He knew he was going, though, back to his dugout.
That was unbelievable. I mean, a lot of times you hear a curveball called a knee buckler. That actually, we could see his knees buckle on that. That's how frozen he was on that great hook. So Mickey Janis, a little bit of everything here tonight. And here's Steve Proscia, who he struck out swinging back in the 2nd. And he starts him out with ball 1. Again, Mickey coming off his best outing of the season. 8 innings of 3-hit shutout ball Thursday in Bridgewater, New Jersey. And about as tough a 1-0 loss as a pitcher can suffer. Here he misses up and in. and it's 2-0. He did not get the loss. He took a no decision. He didn't walk anybody in that game, David, and he struck out 8. So an unbelievable last outing for Mickey Janis. 2-0 is popped up foul high out of play on the first base side. And remember, the Ducks went to Somerset 4 games back of the first place Patriots. They won the first game on Wednesday night to cut the lead to 3, and then they go out and lose 1-0 with that gem tossed by Mickey Janis. They would get shut out the next night as well before rallying to win the final game and splitting the 4-game series. Again, they went in 4 out, they came out 4 out, and then dropped to 5 out with Sunday's loss here and Somerset's win in Bridgeport. 2-1 is a strike, and the count even now on Steve Proscia.
We talk about Janis and his arsenal here tonight, where he's throwing a little bit of everything: the sliders, the curves, the knuckleball, and the fastball. What a luxury for the Ducks to have somebody who can try to find his way through every start with all of those different pitches. When you get a pitcher who's just a 1 or 2, maybe even a 3-pitch pitcher, and the fastball or the change isn't working, they're in trouble. Janis can go to plan B, C, D.
He absolutely can, and here he's at 2-2 on Steve Proscia. Mickey Janis looking for his first home win of the year. His wins have all come on the road. Here he gets a ground ball wide of third down the left field line. So Proscia's still at 2-2, and Mickey faced these Revs once in York and also had a gem. 7 innings of 6-hit 1-run ball in his last victory, a 6-1 win on May the 21st in York, Pennsylvania. So again, the wins this year in York and in Southern Maryland. Here at home, it's pitched 3 times, an 0-1 record. ERA also much better on the road than here at the Duck Pond. The 2-2 is a slider that swung through for another strikeout. So back-to-back Ks, 5 on the evening for Janis, and there are 2 gone.
Yeah, we said that the Revs look off balance. That is an understatement at this point. And we have pounded this into the ground, but we'll say it again. Janis does have everything working here tonight.
So 2 up, 2 down. He has had 1-1-2-3 inning. That was back in the 3rd, where he also had a pair of strikeouts. And here he goes against Sean Smith, the center fielder, who grounded out to short. And wow, David, with no hits on the board for the Revs, he thought about bunting his way on there, did Sean Smith, and bunted through it for strike 1.
Fans would not have liked that.
No, not at all, but let's see if he changes his tune here. He does. No, he shows bunt again and bunted through it. So 0-2 to Sean Smith, trying to get the first hit of the night for the Revs here in the 5th by bunting his way aboard. Ducks have not come in any tighter on the infield after those 2 bunt attempts, and now the count 0-2. I'd really be shocked if he did it again. Swings through it, so 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Striking out the side is Mickey Janis. He's got 6 Ks on the evening, and the Revs go in order. We're halfway home in CI, middle of the 5th inning. Long Island leads York 3-0.
Hey fans, this is outfielder and hitting coach Lou Ford, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Start by attending a free MCU home buying seminar. Then speak with one of our loan specialists who will guide you through the loan process. With an affordable mortgage from Municipal Credit Union, Home Sweet Home will be a little sweeter. Call 212-238-3521 or visit nymcu.org to apply for your mortgage today. Municipal Credit Union. Strong, trusted, growing. Municipal Credit Union is an equal housing opportunity lender.
Take your group out to the ball game this season and enjoy all the fun of Ducks baseball at discounted prices with the Hebrew National Picnic Area, luxury suites, the Smokin' Owls Party Deck, the Trout Town Fan Can, and so much more. Bringing your group to the game will be an unforgettable experience. The Ducks even offer opportunities to sing the national anthem, serve as the Ridgewood Savings Bank color guard, be the Nicolak Dream Team, put on a pregame performance, or shag fly balls during Ducks batting practice. To book your outing today, call 631-940-3825 and ask for the group sales department. Long Island Ducks Baseball. Good times every time.
Well, we head to the last of the 5th on Long Island. The Ducks with a 3-0 lead over the Revolution, and lefty Rami Lewis out into his 5th inning of work against the cleanup man, Cody Puckett, for the Ducks, their 3rd baseman from the right side. First pitch backdoors him for strike one. Cody tonight has struck out swinging and singled to left. He's 1 for 2. 0-1 is in there. Check that. That's called a ball. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike. One is waved through, and now the count 1-2 on Cody Puckett. Pitch by Lewis is a ground ball to second for Brian Pounds. Will sidearm over to first, and Puckett gone 4-3 for the first out. Let's pause 5 seconds for station identification.
First baseman number 33, John Griffin, number 33.
So 1 away, 3 in a row retired by Rami Lewis. And here is John Griffin, walked and drove in a run back in the opening inning, and then reached on an error by the pitcher Lewis back in the third. Waves through this one, and the count 0-1. Again, rubber game of the 3-game series, each team with a 4-3 win. Revs got theirs here Sunday in 15 innings. Ducks got theirs last night in 11 frames. The 0-1 is a curve down low. 1 ball and 1 strike now to John Griffin. Lewis set below the belt. And his 1-1. Grounded foul near the ball boy, or bat boy if you will, for the Revs on the third base side. And down in the count now is John Griffin, 1-2.
So while we have a moment, update what has happened this inning so far since I just answered a text message from Mother Nature.
Cody Puckett has grounded out to second base, and John Griffin has just struck out swinging. So picking up his 5th strikeout of the night is Rami Lewis, and there are 2 away.
This has been one strange trip for Rami Lewis tonight. I mean, who would have guessed he'd still be around in inning number 5 after what happened in inning number 1?
And trying to get you his unofficial count, he is unofficially at 108 pitches. So, again, a guy starting for the first time this year in 5 years is given some length here to Mark Mason after a shaky first. Prentice Redmond sees strike 1 on a backdoor curve.
Well, you certainly give credit to Rami Lewis for getting the ship afloat again and giving his manager the option of keeping him in for a while.
0-1 is way outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. First time that Rami has faced the Ducks this year. Faced him last year 9 times in relief and had a 2-0 record with a 2.70 earned run average. So pitched very well against Long Island out of the pen a season ago as the closer for the Revs. 1-1 here is downstairs. 2-1 now to Prentice Redmond, who has a bases-loaded walk and an RBI back in the opening inning and then bounced into a force in the third. 2-1 the count. And Redmond foul tips it off the gear of catcher Luis De La Cruz to even the count at 2-2.
So last year, Rami Lewis defended his World Cow Milking Championship of York, defeating Lancaster's Chad Beck on Ag and Farm Night back on May 24th. Ag and Farm Night in York. And yes, Rami Lewis knows how to milk a cow.
Well, here he's trying to milk a 1-2-3 inning out of the Ducks, but he misses down in the dirt. And the count now full. We got it in, David. We got in that great note from the Revs media guide.
Ag and Farm Night, something that works in Lancaster and in York, might not work so well in CI.
Again, those cities separated by just 25 miles of Route 30 out in Pennsylvania Dutch country, and a great rivalry. Payoff pitch here is up and away, and that is the 5th walk of the night for Rami Lewis, but the first since he walked 4 back in the opening inning. So another Municipal Credit Union walk with a purpose. Every time a Ducks batter walks, the Quackerjack Foundation wins. Again, all 3 runs for the Ducks tonight came on bases-loaded walks issued by Rami Lewis back in the first to John Griffin, to Prentice Redmond, and to Mike Blank. So Redmond, the 2-out runner for the Ducks, and here's Regi Corona, who struck out swinging and reached on an error by the third baseman, Steve Proscia. Grounds it to third, foul down the left field line, 0-1 on Corona.
Tell you this, knowing about his talents in milking a cow, he pitches a good game. I'm his teammate. I might not be so eager to give him a high five.
Oh, my goodness, David Weiss, how could you go there?
Milking cows, for goodness sake.
It's a cow. Get your mind out of the gutter.
Have you ever milked a cow?
I have not.
Oh, neither have I. Listen, we're city boys. We're suburbanites. We don't know from cow milking.
I have utterly no idea how I would do that.
Oh, man, I knew you'd move toward that joke.
Oh, man, this is really disintegrated in a hurry. Foul ball way down the left field line by Regi Corona, and the count 0-2.
It's not our fault. The media guide had the cow milking.
Yep, they sent us down the cow path, and we just kind of followed along, didn't we?
There you go. No bull on that.
Oh, my.
We're done.
Yeah, we are. We got to wrap it up.
We're done.
Try the veal. We'll be here all the week. Tip your bartenders and waitresses. 3-0 Ducks in the bottom of the fifth on a raw, wet night for baseball. 0-2 here to Corona. And that in the air to left. Brandon Boggs moving in and to his left will give it a two-handed squeeze on the side retired. No runs, no hits, a walk, and one left. We're through 5 in Central Islip. It remains the Long Island Ducks 3, the York Revolution 0.
Hey fans, this is left-handed pitcher Carmine Giardina, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 1039 LI News Radio.
The results are in. PSEG Long Island is delivering 99.9% reliability. We got there by strengthening equipment and clearing trees along power lines across our area. And our new outage management system will continue to ensure improved communications and faster restoration. 99.9% reliable. It's one more way we're serving you better. Discover how we're improving every day to bring you better service at www.pseglinY.com/reliability.
M&V Limousines is the official bus company of the Long Island Ducks. Family owned and operated, they've been in the business for over 23 years. M&V Limousines offers coach buses with Wi-Fi and restrooms, party buses, exotic limousines, and so much more. Whether you're looking for transportation for weddings, proms, corporate outings, or long-distance trips, they've got the right vehicle for you. Visit their showroom in Comac or check them out online at mvlimo.com. M&V Limousines, the official bus company of the Long Island Ducks.
Duck fans, you can follow all season long as the Long Island Ducks try to meet the Chappie's Home Run Challenge. If the Ducks hit 100 homers, Chappie's Funeral Homes will, as they do every year, donate $5,000 to the Quackerjack Foundation. Chappie's Funeral Homes, where caring for others is their family tradition. The Ducks are at 19 home runs right now. Nearly half of those homers off the bat of John Griffin, who hit number 7 last night, a moonshot in the 11-inning 4-3 win for the Ducks over the Revolution. We've seen this in recent years, Chris. The Ducks will go through periods, especially early on, when the home runs are few and far between. The weather warms up, and the home runs start to pile up.
Yeah, I think once the weather heats up, you're right, David, the ball starts to fly out. I talked about the same thing last night. You don't expect home runs on nights like tonight, and last night John Griffin's clout was unbelievable, but you don't expect the ball to fly out when, again, the air is this heavy. It just prevents it from happening. So again, the Ducks carry a 3-0 lead to the top of the sixth. The Revolution are still looking for their first hit of the game against right-handed knuckleballer Mickey Janis, who starts at the top of the order, and Shannon Wilkerson starts him out with strike one. Wilkerson is grounded to short and struck out swinging. And remember, Mickey struck out the side in the fifth, so he is getting better as the game has gone along. His 0-1 is up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike. No major league experience for Mickey Janis, just 2 years of affiliated ball, both in the Rays organization, and didn't get any higher than high A ball. Rookie and high A ball, that's it. And stepping out here is Wilkerson. And Wilkerson has hits in all 9 games that he has had an at-bat in since joining the Revs on May 22nd. Only game he didn't get a hit, he was a pinch runner here in that marathon game Sunday, the 15-inning game, but never came to the plate. So every game in which he's got an appearance at the plate, he's had at least 1 hit. A nice addition atop the Revs lineup for Mark Mason. 1-1 here is outside, 2 balls and a strike.
You talked about the level of baseball that Mickey Janis has been to. Just with R.A. Dickey, I make that comparison again. With Dickey, it clicked later in his career. It could happen with Janis. With his arsenal, I think Major League teams, it's worth a look.
Well, no doubt about it. He certainly can give you a ton of innings because throwing that knuckleball, certainly less wear and tear on the arm. But you talk about a fastball, David, high 80s, low 90s. That's what they're looking for in the big leagues.
And the curve, the slider, good pitches to go to when other things aren't working. He can bring it.
Here he's at 2-2 on Wilkerson. The top hitter average-wise for the Rebs coming in at .395 in those 10 starts. Takes down and away, and the count now full. Wilkerson in the Red Sox organization before being released and joining the Revolution. Went 2 for 5 last night with a pair of singles and a run batted in. Janis in the full windup for the full count pitch. And that roped into left center field. Leaping up to take away a base hit, though, is Dan Lyons. Oh, what a catch by Lyons for out number 1.
That was perfectly timed and seemed to unfold in slow motion. It was a humpback line drive, broken bat from Shannon Wilkerson, and it gave Lyons time to get back. It wasn't anything that you would call a frozen rope. So Lyons is going back, leaping, making a beautiful highlight-type catch. And should we complete the zeros here, we will remember that catch.
Well, here is Wilson Valdez. Again, the Revs are hitless, and Dan Lyons kept it that way with the best defensive play of the game for Long Island. Wilson Valdez has walked and grounded out to Lyons at short. Little tapper here, wide of third, and the count quickly 0-2 on Valdez. Unofficially, Mickey Janis, David, at 81 pitches, so starting to get up there in the 6th, but certainly not, out of the realm of possibility that he could finish this game. Again, his season high was the 8 innings he tossed Thursday in that 1-0 loss to the Patriots on the road in New Jersey. Ahead of Valdez quickly, 2 strikes. And now a slap foul down the right field line, the count holds.
It becomes a choice for managers at all levels whether to pull a pitcher, looking at the bigger picture, but boy, would it be hard to take him out on the threshold of history.
0-2 is in the air down the right field line. Long run for Prentice Redmond. Goes over, makes the catch in fair, and then crosses into foul. Another terrific grab for Long Island.
I believe they call that a fair ball. His momentum carried him over the foul line, but Prentice Redmond, good jump. And catching that with a full-out dash to the baseball. So 2 up, 2 down, 2 stellar defensive plays.
Yeah, my first 2 asterisks in the scorebook for Web Gems. And now here's Brian Pounds, the 3-hitter, who's flied to center and struck out swinging. 3-0 Ducks in the top of the 6th. Again, the Revs right now hitless against right-hander Mickey Janis, the 27-year-old from Sparks, Nevada. Boy, is he out of spark tonight. He misses low here. It's 1-0.
Of course, that's the last name of another major leaguer who threw the knuckler, Steve Sparks.
There you go. That's right. I forgot about him. Very good. The 1-0 is pop foul high out of play down the right field line. Pounds had his 13-game hitting streak come to an end last night. It was the longest current streak in the Atlantic League, but he went 0 for 5 with a pair of strikeouts in York's 11-inning loss. A ball and a strike now to the second baseman and right-handed hitter. Mickey Janis, the righty, from the middle of the rubber in the full windup. And here a swing and a miss, and he's out in front again, 1-2. Ducks are off tomorrow. They'll start a 4-game set in Camden. On Thursday, Revs go home to open up an 8-game homestand. Last 4 of those games will be against that big rival we talked about, the Lancaster Barnstormers. The 1-2 is down and away in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. They call it the War of the Roses between those 2 teams. The Lancaster franchise back in the 50s and 60s had an affiliated team that was the Red Roses. The Revs had a team in York that was the White Roses. So that old rivalry, the War of the Roses, rejoined many years later, decades later, with the Revs and the Barnstormers. Foul back to the netting by Pounds, and the count holds at 2-2.
It's always been a very thorny relationship, to be sure.
I thought you were going to stop.
I know. I thought. Can't help myself.
You can't be helped, can you?
Nope.
Unbelievable. So, again, when those two teams get together, that is one of the best rivalries in the Atlantic League, and tons of fans from each side make the trek on Route 30. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Mickey Janis, another 1-2-3 inning, his 7th strikeout of the night, and he has gone through 6 tonight without allowing a hit to the York Revolution. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Long Island remains on top, 3-0.
Hey fans, this is outfielder Eric Kamasu, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
James Simmons is going back. He is looking up, and on the park night, that one is gone and reaches a kennel in Central Islip.
That was another home run for the Ducks. And Duck fans, what's more fun than a home run that helps the Ducks win a game? How about a homer that helps the community win? Chappie's Funeral Home and the Long Island Ducks have once again teamed up for the Chappie's Home Run Challenge. If the Ducks hit 100 homers this season, Chappie's Funeral Home will donate $5,000 to the Quackerjack Foundation. So every time a Ducks hitter goes deep this season, watch for the Chappie's Challenge home run count on the scoreboard. And if we reach 100, we're all a winner. Chappie's Funeral Home, where caring for others is a family tradition.
Can't get enough of the Long Island Ducks? Well, now you can get even more inside info on your favorite hometown team through Facebook and Twitter. The Ducks are constantly updating fans through social media with scores, transactions, ballpark promotions, and much more. You can even win great prizes. All you'll need to do is make a free account on Facebook and Twitter, and then visit us at facebook.com/LIDucks and twitter.com/LIDucks. Think you're Long Island's biggest Ducks fan? Get connected now.
Hey fans, this is Matt Soren, pitcher, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 103.9 LI News Radio.
Beautify your patio, walkway, driveway, or pool surround with Nicoloc paving stones and walls. Nicoloc's specially formulated paver shield offers extra surface wear protection and color enhancement throughout the thickness of the paver. Paver shield guarantees that your pavers will look great for years to come. Bring home the elegance with Nicoloc. Visit the Nicoloc Design Center, Sunrise Highway, Lindenhurst, or Nicoloc.com.
Let Nicoloc pavers pave your way.
The results are in. PSEG Long Island is delivering 99.9% reliability. We got there by strengthening equipment and clearing trees along power lines across our area. And our new outage management system will continue to ensure improved communications and faster restoration. 99.9% reliable. It's one more way we're serving you better. Discover how we're improving every day to bring you better service at www.psegliny.com/reliability.
Well, we head to the bottom of the 6th. Ducks with a 3-0 lead in the first pitching change of the night for the York Revolution. They go from lefty Rami Lewis to lefty Joe Harris. So Joe Harris in the game. We'll give you the number on Rami Lewis in just a minute. He will start with Mike Blank, the 8-hitter and catcher for Long Island, who has walked to drive in a run and struck out looking. First pitch taken on the ground is second. To his left is Brian Pounds. Throws it over to first. 1 pitch, 1 out for southpaw Joe Harris.
And just very quickly about Harris, he's a 6'3" lefty from Douglasville, Pennsylvania. Making his 16th appearance of the season, all in relief, 17 in the third innings pitched, has given up 13 hits, 12 earned runs. He struck out 13, walked 9, a high walk total, a 6.23 ERA.
So one lefty replaces another. One quick out here as Blank retired on the ground ball. And here's Dan Lyons, the shortstop, 0 for 2 tonight, and he takes strike 1. Rami Lewis went 5 innings tonight as the Revs starter, 4 hits allowed, 3 runs all earned, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. And again, all 3 runs came in on bases-loaded walks back in the opening inning. He threw 118 pitches, 72 of those for strikes. And, David, he threw 47 pitches in the very first inning tonight, and got to give him a lot of credit. He settled down after that, allowed just 2 base hits across his last 4 frames.
Yeah, lasted a whole lot longer than I think anyone thought he would.
Yeah.
So he gave his manager, Mark Mason, and his team some length. Not as much as they probably would have liked, but at least some.
1-1 here is skied to shallow left field. Check that. It's going to stay on the infield. That's how shallow it is. The third baseman, Steve Proscia, will make the catch with 2 hands for the second out.
So in normal circumstances, you'd like to replace a lefty with a righty. In this case, beggars can't be choosers.
Yep.
Everybody's been used the last 2 days for the York Revolution, up and down their pitching lineup. So you replace one lefty with another. Joe Harris in for Rami Lewis.
Joe Harris's second appearance of the series. He was the winning pitcher in the marathon here Sunday. The 15-inning 4-3 win for the Revs. He pitched terrific. 2 innings of 1-hit shutout ball, a walk, and a strikeout. So Harris, 1-2 so far. He gets Blank and Lyons to go down, and now back to the top of the order for Brian Sabatella. And he misses way up and outside with ball 1. And both teams trying to keep the visit to the bullpen to a minimum after a pair of extra inning games. 26 innings total to get to the rubber game. The 1-0 is bounced off the body of Harris right to the second baseman Pounds. He throws to first, and 1-2-3 go the Ducks. We go to the 7th on Long Island. Long Island still with a 3-0 lead over the Revolution.
Hey fans, this is Blake Davis, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball, Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 103.9 LI News Radio.
Spring into a new Honda at Huntington Honda and pay $59 a month for a new 2015 Honda Civic LX sedan. $59. So spring into Huntington Honda on Jericho Turnpike just east of Route 110 or HuntingtonHondaCars.com.
Huntington Honda, discover the difference.
Auto 24-month lease, total due at inception. Civic $31.90 includes bank fee, first month's payment, no security deposit. Taxes, DMV, title fees extra with excellent credit through HFS.
Have your birthday at the ballpark this season and celebrate with the flock. Kona Ice birthday party packages with the Long Island Ducks are now available. Each package includes 10 box seats, a commemorative birthday t-shirt and autographed baseball, a pizza and Kona Ice party in the Hebrew National Picnic area, and so much more. Best of all, the birthday child will stand on the dugout while the entire crowd sings happy birthday. Reserve your party today by calling the group sales department at 631-940-3825. Kona Ice birthday parties with the Long Island Ducks, a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Hey, Duck fans, you can warm up with a hot cup of Hampton Coffee Company gourmet coffee available at the concession stands here at Bethpage Ballpark. Regular and decaf, Hampton Coffee, the preferred coffee of the Long Island Ducks. Visit HamptonCoffeeCompany.com or visit their cafes in the beautiful Hamptons. Of course, just a few weeks from now, if not a few days from now, we'll be talking about ice-cold coffee, not hot cups of coffee, but certainly hot coffee is what's needed the last few days across Long Island, including tonight.
Rainy, soggy, wet evening for baseball. Give kudos, David, to the grounds crew. They've been out almost every half inning to lay down that turfus, that drying agent, to try to take up some of the standing water. Just a little bit of it around the warning track, as again, it's been a steady, light rain the entire night. 6 innings in the books. The Ducks with a 3-0 lead. Long Island, 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. The Revs, no runs, still no hits, and 2 errors as Mickey Janis comes out to work a 7th inning for Long Island. He has retired the last 8 batters in a row. Here's Andres Perez. Takes the pitch into center field. Lou Ford moving in will make the grab on his shoe tops for out number 1.
Oh, that was a sinking line drive. Lou Ford came in. That thing sank even a little more, and he had to reach down for it. Kind of an unusual catch for Lou, but he's got it. And we've had a number of very sharp defensive plays here. You just get the feeling something special could be happening here. It could be serendipity.
Here is Brandon Boggs for the Revs. He's grounded to first and fouled out to third. 0-2. Again, York without a hit in the game in inning number 7. Mickey Janis, the right-hander, backdoors him with a curve for strike 1. Again, the majority of Mickey's pitches usually knuckleballs, but tonight we've seen him mix in a good fastball, the occasional slider. There was a curve, and here's a traditional knuckleballer with the bottom dropping out of that pitch, and the count now 1-1 to Brandon Boggs. Boggs, a former big leaguer with the Texas Rangers and Milwaukee Brewers, and here he looks at one low, 2 balls and a strike. Ducks coming in had won 2 of their last 3. Revs have won 4 of their last 5. 2-1 here, Knuckles to the outside corner for a strike. And the count now 2-2 on Brandon Boggs. Outfield shading slightly towards right for him to pull. A switch hitter batting left here is the former big leaguer. 2-2. Crushed foul down the right field line. Out of the park, but way out of play as well. And the chase on for that baseball might have made it up onto the concourse, way out by the light stanchion, and the youngsters going crazy, so I think the yard may have actually held that one in.
Well, at least the youngsters getting their exercise in for the week.
But you know, on a night like tonight, David, when so many people have left early, any ball that's into a section, the race is on because the kids know the first one there is getting that great souvenir. 2-2 is poke foul down the left field line, and the count holds now on Brandon Boggs.
You have to assume the youngsters going home tonight will sleep well tonight, but worth staying up late tonight considering what's happening here.
I saw a little guy last night race for one of those balls, David. He came out with 2 in his hand, so he already had one in one hand and found one for the other.
Well, daily double action.
2-2 here, another crusher foul and another souvenir off the bat of Brandon Boggs. Ducks with a 3-0 lead in the top of the 7th. They led last night 3-0. 1-11. They led Sunday 2-0 and 3-1 before losing in 15. 2-2 is in the dirt, and the count full. By the way, that 15-inning game here Sunday, the longest game by innings in Revolution history.
Wow.
Yeah, 9 years in the league. That's unusual, David, to never play a game that made the 15th inning in 9 years. I think that's a long time to go without having at least one game get there. Right? Figure 140 or 126 games a season, depending on which year you're talking about. And I mean, you're talking over 1,000 games, and they never played one that reached the 15. 1-out payoff here to Boggs. And did it hit him? I thought it hit the shin guard. No, they're going to say, I think it might have been a strike, and he's going to reach down at first on that ball. So I don't think it hit him based on the way he ran. So I think it's going to be a strikeout for Mickey Janis, but a wild pitch or a pass ball that advances Brandon Boggs to first.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be strikeout, wild pitch, or strikeout, pass ball. David will get the official scoring, but the way that Boggs ran indicated he was not hit by that pitch, although I thought clearly we heard it click off his shin pad on his front foot. Here's Luis De La Cruz, the catcher who's 0 for 2 with a fly out to right, and he's grounded into a double play. Takes all the way, it looked like here, for strike 1 on the outer edge. So did Mickey Janis get his 8th strikeout of the night?
And the answer is no.
No, okay.
Batter didn't go around, goes down as a simple base on balls.
Okay, why was he running then? Why was Brandon Boggs running? That's what I want to know.
He might have been confused.
Yeah, he must have been. I thought I heard it hit that shin pad.
Yeah.
We have this great shotgun microphone that picks up amazing sound, and I really thought we heard it. So again, it goes down as a walk, David getting the official scoring, and I believe 4th of the night.
Right.
For Janis, breaks up his run of 9 in a row, retired. He's ahead 0-2 here, though, on De La Cruz. And this one gets through the wickets of Mike Blank, and that'll be a wild pitch, I believe, that advances Brandon Boggs down to second base. So a runner in scoring position for York with 1 away.
And according to my score sheet, they've got a runner in scoring position for the first time since the 2nd inning.
Yeah, that's right, when Johan Lamonto went to second on a pass ball.
Right.
So they have not had a man make third base in this game. And that is a pass ball on Mike Blank, and now a bouncing ball to second. Parigi Corona's only play to first. He gets the second out, and for the first time in the game, the Rebs get a base runner to third with 2 away. So again, second pass ball on Mike Blank. Not a wild pitch on Mickey Janis.
Number 14.
So Brandon Boggs at third. He's the 2-out runner. Johan Lamonta, the DH, has walked and struck out looking. Still no hits for the Revs here in inning number 7 against Mickey Janis, Long Island's right-hander. Breaking ball down and in for ball 1. Janis pitched for the Bluefish in 2013, the Blue Crabs in 2014. And this is his first year with the Ducks, 6th year of professional baseball. He was taken by the Rays in the 44th round of the 2010 draft out of Cal State Bakersfield was Mickey Janis. 1-0 now to Johan Lamonta. fouls it back to the screen, 1-1. And David, we talked about this early, but we know it's already a special night for Mickey Janis. He wanted to wish a happy birthday to his 2-year-old niece, Lily Luton. So maybe he's got Lily on the mind tonight, and that's why he's having an outstanding performance on the hill.
And should the zeros continue, he can dedicate it to her as well.
Yeah, Lily might get a souvenir out of this game. The 1-1 is on the ground, back towards Janis. He fields, underhands to first, and the side retired. The Revs have hit through 7 innings. They do not have a base hit in this game against Mickey Janis. No runs, no hits, a walk, and a man left. Time to stretch. Middle of the 7th inning at Bethpage Ballpark in Central Islip, New York. The Ducks lead the Revs 3-0.
Hey fans, this is pitcher Mark Rogers, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 1039 LI News Radio.
Hey, Ducks fans, the official hotel of the Long Island Ducks is the Upsky Long Island Hotel in Hauppauge. It's centrally located on the north shore of Long Island and offers a home away from home for both business and leisure guests. The Upsky Long Island Hotel features an indoor pool, 24-hour business center, a fitness center, and complimentary Wi-Fi in all guest rooms. Enjoy the contemporary American cuisine at the Fountain Grill restaurant or grab a quick bite to eat at Cafe Pronto. Best of all, it's only minutes from Bethpage Ballpark. The Upsky Long Island Hotel, the official hotel of the Long Island Ducks. Call 231-1100 today. That's 631-231-1100.
Family fun every time.
Beautiful evening for baseball.
Big action every time.
He reaches up, it's gone!
Great value every time.
And the Ducks have won it 7-1.
The Ducks schedule is loaded with new promotions this season, and with an average ticket price of just $10 and free parking, there is no better value on Long Island. For game times and tickets, visit liducks.com. Long Island Ducks baseball. Good times every time.
Well, the Ducks and the Revolution wrapping up their 3-game series here at home at Bethpage Ballpark. Day off tomorrow, then at Camden Thursday, a doubleheader on Friday, and again Saturday. The Ducks will be returning home Sunday, June the 7th, against the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. That's a 1:35 start with an appearance by Spider-Man. Monday, June 8th, again the Blue Crabs, 6:35 start with a pyrotechnical fireworks extravaganza. Always a treat here.
They knew we would be together, David. That's why they put those fireworks in.
You and I will be here for that. Absolutely right. And then Tuesday, June 9th, against the Blue Crabs with a special appearance by former National League MVP George Foster, not only of the Reds, but played for the Mets too. And another one against the Blue Crabs June 10th. Ducks tickets at the Bethpage Ballpark box office, liducks.com, or calling 631-940-TIXX.
Well, they go to the bottom of the 7th, Long Island with a 3-0 lead, and lefty Joe Harris, a native of York, Pennsylvania, the hometown boy, into his 2nd inning of work, and starts out Delta Cleary Jr. with strike 1. Now bouncing ball back off the glove of Harris, I believe, towards 2nd. Brian Pounds will throw him out for out number 1.
And if it went off of the glove of Joe Harris, that would be the 2nd consecutive 1-4-3 play. How many times has that happened?
Not too often. I did the same thing you did, David. I put a little 1 in parentheses on those 4-3 groundouts induced by Joe Harris. So Delta Cleary, who was 4 for 4 last night, falls to 1 for 4 tonight. And here's Lou Ford hitting over 400 at home this year, coming in 406, as those that still remain chanting out the Lou, much the way Bob O'Tone does every time the former Minnesota Twin comes to the plate. Joe Harris's first pitch to Ford is in there for strike 1. Lou 0 for 2 tonight with a walk and a run scored.
Came within a yard or two of a home run down the left field line. He smashed it back in the 2nd inning.
0-1 is foul back to the netting. And, of course, Lou David, the Atlantic League Player of the Year a season ago, comes in tonight leading the league in runs batted in, leading the league in hits, leading the league in total bases, tied for the league lead in doubles, tied for the league lead in extra base hits, top 5 in slugging percentage. Is he on his way to back-to-back MVPs at 38? It's incredible. It's just incredible. 0-2 here is in the dirt for ball 1.
Well, my family and I saw a movie about a month ago called The Age of Adelaide, which was about a woman who froze at the age of 29. She never got any older. Lou Ford, it's the age of Lou here
yes,
at Bethpage Ballpark. He's not getting any older.
The lefty Joe Harris is 1-2, is foul back to the top of the screen, and the count holds on Lou. And I got to tell you, one of my biggest thrills with Lou, David, a couple of years ago, you remember, started the year with the Long Island Ducks, picked up by the Baltimore Orioles, ripped through their farm system. I got to see him play center field at Yankee Stadium the same year I watched him play center field here at the Duck Pond. I mean, to see his face on the scoreboard at Yankee Stadium, I have my son Connor with me. It's something I'll always remember, that, this is our Lou Ford.
Exactly.
And he's in center field at Yankee Stadium. Swing and a miss here. He does strike out. And the other thing I'll never forget is when the Ducks won the 2012 championship here, they were up celebrating upstairs in the Duck Club restaurant. Lou Ford was on TV in the playoffs with the Orioles playing the Yankees that night.
That's
it was
right.
incredible. It was incredible.
Went right to the playoffs.
Yep. So Lou Ford, who's given us all a thrill, goes down here on strikes. First strikeout tonight for lefty Joe Harris. 6th for Revs pitching. And it'll bring up the cleanup man, Cody Puckett, who's 1 for 3. So Lou Ford continuing to do a great job at the plate and in his role as hitting coach for Long Island as well. This one, a worm burner to third, dropped by Proscia, recovers, and doesn't get it there in time. So I think Proscia is going to be charged with another error here. And for the Revs, it would be their league-leading 48th error of the season, and that's how it goes down in E5.
Yeah, somewhat disheartening for those on the mound for the Revolution, doing their job, but at times not getting the support in the field. So Cody Puckett aboard, John Griffin at the plate. And, we take a look at the scoreboard, and yes, it has been 7 shutdown innings for Mickey Janis, but it's still only 3-0.
Yep, it's amazing. So it's not out of reach yet, and we've seen the Revs come back in both previous games in this series. Again, the light rain continues to fall as it has all evening, as John Griffin 0 for 2 with a walk and a run batted in takes strike 1. The lefty Joe Harris way over on the first base side of the rubber, gets a ground ball to short here. Valdez will flip glove to Pounds at second, and the side retired. No runs, no hits, an error, 1 man left. Don't you go anywhere. We go to the 8th. The Ducks have a 3-0 lead. Mickey Janis has not given up a hit tonight. He will take the hill, we hope, for inning number 8.
Hey fans, this is first baseman John Griffin, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 1039 LI News Radio.
Few places on earth offer the charm and excitement of Fire Island. At Fire Island Ferries, located conveniently at 99 Maple Avenue in Bay Shore, they offer convenient travel to Fire Island 7 days a week. Fire Island is quickly becoming a top destination for families of all ages. Experience the informal, carefree communities, the dazzling night scene, enjoy fine dining, or climb to the top of one of the tallest lighthouses in the United States. But there's only one way to get there, by calling Fire Island Ferries at 631-665-3600 today. For fare and scheduling information, please visit fireislandferries.com.
Hey Ducks fans, stay up to date with Long Island's hometown team by visiting Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks. Quack of the Bat will bring Ducks fans beyond the headlines with in-depth feature articles, breaking news stories, game previews, post-game wrap-ups, and so much more. Interact with the team during the entire season through quotes directly from the players and coaches, as well as exclusive video clips and photos. Check out the blog today at quackofthebat.wordpress.com. Quack of the Bat, the official blog of the Long Island Ducks.
To inning number 8 we go at Bethpage Ballpark. Chris King joined by David Weiss. We thank you so much for tuning into Ducks Baseball tonight on this Tuesday evening and making us part of your entertainment, whether you're listening on our flagship radio station, 1039 LI News Radio, or as I like to say, around the world at liducks.com or youtube.com/Ducks Baseball. We do appreciate you tuning in. We go to the 8th inning. Mickey Janis, the right-handed starter for Long Island, has yet to give up a base hit in this game, and we turn it over to our closer in the booth, David Weiss.
Be Steve Proscia, Sean Smith, bottom of the order, back to the top. Shannon Wilkerson against Janis. First pitch, fastball, way inside. 1 ball and no strikes to Proscia, who has struck out swinging twice among the 7 strikeouts for Mickey Janis thus far. 1-0 the count. And the pitch is fouled above us. 1 ball and 1 strike. As the temperature drops, the tension mounts.
Yes,
with
it does.
Every possible pitch. 55 degrees of game time at 6:40. roughly 2 hours, 18 minutes ago. But things are heating up. 1-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Either a knuckler or just a curve that dove away from Proscia. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Unofficial pitch count, David, about 110 right now on Mickey Janis in the 8th.
Well, what does Kevin Baez do? He has to leave him in. 1-2 pitch on the way to Proscia. Off-speed pitch, down low. And the count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 4 walks surrendered by Mickey Janis in this game to go along with those 7 Ks.
Remember, again, for a knuckleballer, a lot less wear and tear on the arm when he's throwing that pitch.
2-2 pitch on the way to Proscia. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 8, 1 down. 5 more outs to go.
Well, that ties his season high. He struck out 8 Patriots in Bridgewater, New Jersey on Thursday in that tough 1-0 loss.
Bottom of the order, and Sean Smith, the center fielder, who has bounced out and struck out. Only once in this game has the Revolution advanced a runner to third. They've been shut out so far, and they are hitless. And looking as though he wanted to bunt, Smith yanks the bat away and takes a ball 1-0. Revolution trail by 3. Yes, they need base runners. And yes, they might bunt. 1-0 pitch on the way. Curveball, strike, backdoor breaking ball, 1-1.
This is the guy who won Sunday's game with a homer in the 15th inning. So Sean Smith, even though he's batting 9th in the order, very clutch hitter and came through big time when they needed him in that marathon 4.5+ hour game on Sunday afternoon.
Leadoff man Shannon Wilkerson is waiting on deck. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Top of inning 8 at Bethpage Ballpark. Ducks, 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. Revolution, no runs, no hits, and 3 errors. Pitch on the way, fastball just inside. Boy, a lot of zip on that fastball, probably around 90 plus, and it's 2-1. The adrenaline must be pumping for Janis right now. Get a little extra. 2-1 pitch on the way, and there's a knuckleball that slides off the mid of Mike Blank and back to the backstop. And it's 3-1 to Sean Smith. We do keep in mind, again, it's only a 3-0 lead. And should the Revolution get a couple of men on, tying run would come to the plate. 3-1 pitch on the way. Big home run, hack and a miss. 3-2 to Sean Smith.
Yeah, Sean Smith was trying to break it up right there with a long ball. That's what he was doing, no doubt about it.
So the count now full. As Smith climbs back in. Righty-righty matchup here. Smith, the 9th man in the order. 3-2 pitch on the way, and that is inside low. Skips away from the catcher, Mike Blank. And Sean Smith is aboard with the 5th walk issued by Mickey Janis tonight.
To the top of the order for the York Revolution.
And I turn it back over to the top of the order in the visitors' 8th, and the dangerous Shannon Wilkerson. We've talked a lot about him. Hits in every game that he started for the Revs since joining them last week. But no hits tonight, along with 8 other guys in that starting lineup that have the same offer.
And tonight, Wilkerson has bounced out, struck out, and a humpback soft line drive that Dan Lyons made a great play, jumping and catching at shortstop. 1 out, 1 on. Pitch to Wilkerson, inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Ducks with a 3-0 lead. At the moment, it is all about one man on the mound. 27-year-old knuckleballer Mickey Janis, who has used more than his knuckleball here tonight. Coming set, Janis checks the runner. Sean Smith at first base. Pitch on the way is down and blocked by Blank. Hanging on at first base is Sean Smith, so it's a ball and a strike. With ones across the board. Number 1 at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 down, 1 on.
Also getting up, David, around 120 pitches now from Mickey Janis.
Still looks like he's got plenty left. He comes set, checks the runner. The 1-1 on the way to Wilkerson is up high with the fastball, 2-1. Just seems like everything has become much more deliberate as we get closer to the finish line. Wilson Valdez, second man in the order for the Revs, waiting on deck. From the right side, Shannon Wilkerson, open stance. Janis, 2-1 pitch, way up high. And now 3 balls and a strike. And you just wonder, as you look at the last 2 batters and the pitches out of the strike zone, is fatigue starting to factor in?
I was thinking the same thing, David. That's why I'm going to check his pitch total from the 8 innings in Somerset on Thursday.
Meanwhile, Shannon Wilkerson climbs back in. Sean Smith at first base being held on by first baseman John Griffin. Count is 3-1 to Wilkerson. Coming set, Janis, the pitch on the way is hit foul, long way, but to the right. Good cut by Wilkerson, and the count now full. At 3-2 with 1 down, 1 on, top of the 8th. The Ducks leading 3-0. And again, if you're just tuning in, good time to tune in. Mickey Janis has not given up a hit to this point. 1 out here in the 8th.
And he threw 107 pitches in Bridgewater on Thursday in the 8th inning.
And he's beyond that here tonight. Payoff pitch to Wilkerson, hit straight back. Boy, Wilkerson had a good cut, just missed it, fouling it straight back with some mustard to the netting, and the count remains full.
Well, again, he's going to earn it, David, because of where he is in the order right now. Again, you got your leadoff guy, you got your 2-hitter, and then you got the heart of the order still to get through one more time. So if Mickey Janis is going to get where he's trying to go, he's going to earn it, no doubt.
So Wilkerson's back in the box. Retaking his lead is Sean Smith at first. Janis coming set. Payoff pitch again is slapped foul again over everything to the right side. So the count remains full at 3-2 as the pitch count continues to climb.
Up over 120 now. And approaching, I believe, 125 unofficially. In the 8th, 5 outs from where he's trying to get to.
And now stepping out is Wilkerson. Stepping off the mound momentarily is Mickey Janis as we reset. For the fans who have remained, what a treat here tonight. No matter what happens, what an effort by Mickey Janis. Pitch on the way, a little looper, playable. John Griffin, foul territory, makes the catch. 2 down here in the 8th as Mickey Janis retires Wilkerson after quite a battle at the plate. The payoff pitch. There are 2 down, 4 outs to go.
Yeah, I was the guy I worry about more than anybody, David, because, again, we talked about he's hitting almost 400 since joining the Revs May 22nd, but he falls to 0 for 4 tonight, and now it's Wilson Valdez's turn.
Valdez on the evening walked, stole a base back in the first, is also bounced out and flied out to right. A great running catch near the foul line by Ducks right fielder Prentice Redmond. Righty-righty matchup. Pitch to Valdez is a big curveball. Boy, that broke down from his letters right to the strike zone at the last possible moment. That might have been a knuckler. 0-1 the count.
I think with that kind of movement, that had to be a knuckler.
I think you're right. That thing fell off the table.
Yeah.
0-1 the count. Sean Smith takes his lead off first base. Pitch to Valdez is a bouncing ball. It is hit slowly. Dan Lyons takes it. Has to hurry. Not in time. How will they score it? It was thrown away. To be fair and objective, I think you've got to go with an infield hit because I think Valdez would have beaten it out.
I agree with you, David. I think it's a base hit on the infield for Wilson Valdez.
Infield hit. But what an effort for Mickey Janis. Wilson Valdez hit a number. Dan Lyons did what he could in charging the ball, throwing in one motion, threw it low. It eluded John Griffin, but even if the throw had been true, Valdez would have beaten it out. It goes down as an infield hit.
So Mickey Janis was 4 outs away from the second no-hitter in franchise history for Long Island, only to give it up on an infield single. 2 outs into the top of the 8th for Wilson Valdez.
Most importantly, the tying run is at the plate. You got 2 men on. Brian Pounds at the plate. And a good slider hits the outside corner. It's 0-1 to Pounds, who has lined out and struck out twice, both times swinging. So you'd have to think that this will be the final inning for Mickey Janis. Try to finish off the 8th, then hand it over to the closer for the 9th. Coming set is Janis. 0-1 pitch on the way is downstairs. Now 1 ball and 1 strike to Brian Pounds.
Again, it was so slowly hit towards short that Dan Lyons had to charge the entire length of the infield dirt just to get to the grass. And then, as you said, David, I completely agree. Even with an accurate throw, he's not getting Wilson Valdez, the fastest runner on the Revs.
He is, with 10 steals. He's always a threat when he gets on. 1-1 pitch, home run cut by Brian Pounds and swings through it.
And I agree with you as well. We'll see Ryan Kushmal for the ninth with a pitch count. It's got to be over 130 now for Mickey Janis. Kevin Baez, let him try for a little history here tonight, trying for a no-hitter. Again, they've been 7 in the league, 1 for the Ducks, 1 against the Ducks by a former Duck, as a matter of fact. Lenny DiNardo did it against Long Island for Lancaster.
Pounds, 1-2 the count. Runner takes off, and Pounds hits it in the air. Looks like it might be playable. John Griffin coming over near the Ducks dugout, but it fades over the dugout into the first row of seats. And the count remains 1-2. With 2 down, 2 on, the Ducks leading 3-0. Mickey Janis surrendering his first hit to the York Revolution just a minute or 2 ago to Wilson Valdez on a weakly hit ground ball to short. Dan Lyons' throw was low to John Griffin. It eluded him, but Valdez clearly would have beaten it out nonetheless. Infield hit. And you've got runners on the corners with 2 down. The 1-2 pitch on the way to Pounds, and he hits it right field. That could be trouble. Prentice Redmond running over, and he can't get it. It is a foul ball by about a yard or 2. That would have scored 1 at the very least. But Pounds will have to take a trip back to the batter's box, and the count remains 1-2.
So again, the only no-hitter in franchise history for the Ducks, Rod Henderson, back in season number 2 of Long Island Ducks baseball. I was here that night, May 25th, 2001. He no-hit the Atlantic City Surf, and one of those strange quirks of that game, David, Don McCormick, who was the manager at the time, messed up when he handed in his score sheet, forgot to put a DH in the lineup, so Rod Henderson had to bat that night. Unbelievable.
May 25th, 2001, occurred one day after an important date in my life, and Chris's too, May 24th. That's the 1980 Bobby Nystrom overtime first cup date that we always remember and mark day, year after year. 1-2 pitch to Brian Pounds, and again the runner's going, call strike 3. What a way to end it, if indeed that was Mickey Janis's last pitch thrown here tonight. A high five and a salute all the way around for the 9th strikeout for Mickey Janis, giving up his first hit of the evening, an infield single. There was a walk and 2 men left. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning at Bethpage Ballpark. The score remains the Ducks 3, the Revolution nothing.
Hey fans, this is Reggie Corona, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island Home for News, Traffic and Weather, 1039 LI New Radio.
Beautify your patio, walkway, driveway, or pool surround with Nicoloc paving stones and walls. Nicoloc's specially formulated paver shield offers extra surface wear protection and color enhancement throughout the thickness of the paver. Paver shield guarantees that your pavers will look great for years to come. Bring home the elegance with Nicoloc. Visit the Nicoloc Design Center, Sunrise Highway, Lindenhurst, or Nicoloc.com.
Let Nicolac Pavers pave your way.
M&V Limousines is the official bus company of the Long Island Ducks. Family owned and operated, they've been in the business for over 23 years. M&V Limousines offers coach buses with Wi-Fi and restrooms, party buses, exotic limousines, and so much more. Whether you're looking for transportation for weddings, proms, corporate outings, or long-distance trips, they've got the right vehicle for you. Visit their showroom in Comac or check them out online at mvlimo.com. M&V Limousines, the official bus company of the Long Island Ducks.
Well, hey, Duck fans, do you want frequent updates on team transactions, scores, store specials, and the status of upcoming games? Then follow Long Island Ducks on Twitter at twitter.com/LIDucks. Now, with Twitter, the faithful flock will also be able to follow their Ducks and find out more information regarding nightly promotions, player signings, league activities, and much, much more. The Ducks are tweeting right now, and you can follow along at twitter.com/LIDucks.
So, Joe Harris in relief of the starter Rami Lewis for the York Revolution. Starting his 3rd inning of work, he came in to start inning number 6. And here we are in the bottom of the 8th. The Ducks leading 3-0. Mickey Janis, 8 innings of 1-hit shutout ball. That 1 hit, the infield single that came in the top of inning number 8. So close, but yet so far.
Unbelievable. Again, 134 pitches is where Janis is through 8th, and certainly done. And in a save situation, Ryan Kushmal, who had last night off, after working the marathon 2 innings on Sunday. Certainly would try to come in and record his league-leading 10th save of the year if the Ducks don't add to the 3-0 lead here in the 8th. But even if they do add to it, David, I don't expect to see Mickey Janis out on the hill, but what a treat he gave us tonight, and he gave those that sat through the raindrops all night long to watch him try to make a little Atlantic League and Long Island Ducks history.
Yeah, wouldn't that have been something on a night like this with these weather conditions? But he really did have everything going tonight. The full arsenal, the knuckleball, fastball, slider, and curve. And he had the revolution mainly off balance all night long. Saw something special tonight, even if it ends as a 8-inning, 1-hit shutout performance. Prentice Redmond, Reggie Corona, and Mike Blank to face Joe Harris here in the bottom of the 8th. Redmond at the plate, slightly open stance from the right side, takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Redmond tonight is officially 0-for-1. He has walked twice, and that walk in the first inning brought in the second of the 3 Duck runs, all 3 scored on walks with the bases loaded. 0-1 pitch on the way, down and in, 1 ball and 1 strike. So with the Ducks scoring 3 times in the bottom of the first inning, Chris, would you have guessed that we'd still be at 3-0 now?
No, absolutely not.
We didn't think this had any chance of being the final score. Still might not be. Well, we're getting closer. Another pitch downstairs. It's 2-1 to Redmond.
Well, same thing last night, David. They got 3 in the first. Did I think they wouldn't score again until the 11th? No, but that's what happened. It was amazing last night.
Strange games between the Ducks and the Revs. 2-1 pitch on the way to Redmond. Big hack. Swung through it. Good fastball from Harris. It's 2-2. With a victory, the Ducks would go 5 games over 500 at 21 up and 16 down. Still some work to do here tonight, however. 2-2 pitch on the way to Redmond. There's a broken bat, single left field between short and third. Redmond is aboard with his first hit of the evening, and for the Ducks, only their 5th hit of the evening overall.
Well, let's pause 5 seconds for station identification.
Second baseman, number 11, Reggie Corona, number 11.
Reggie Corona at the plate. Steps into the batter's box from the right side. Reg has struck out, lined out in between, reached on an error, charged to third baseman Steve Proscia. Pitch on the way, good hack from Corona, fouls it straight back to the screen. It's 0-1 to Corona. Redmond at first base, leading off here in the bottom of the 8th.
Are you and Corona that close? Reg, really?
Reg, sure. Go back a long way.
He and Regis Philbin, the only 2 guys that call Reg, right?
That's true. 0-1 pitch, and this one is hit to deep left field. Going back is Brandon Boggs. He's at the wall and makes the grab right in front of the Nicolak paving stones and retaining wall sign. So in that case, the wall did retain that long drive from Reggie Corona, and there's 1 down.
Now Reggie bidding for his 2nd home run of the season. And on a night when the air is wet and heavy, he almost had enough to jack it out. Off the bat, David, it had that sound of a home run ball. I thought it was going to go out. I did.
Not quite enough air under it, or on another night, it might have had a chance, but not tonight. Mike Blank, catcher for the Ducks. 8th man in the order, here in the bottom of the 8th. At the plate. Holds the bat high, in a crouch. Open stance, and he ripped one to the gap. Right center field, and this one will go toward the warning track. Corralled by Sean Smith. Streaking to third as Prentice Redmond will hold there. Just a long single for Mike Blank, who hit it hard. His first hit of the evening, 6th overall for the Ducks. And Long Island now with runners on the corners and only 1 down, looking for insurance.
Yeah, certainly would like to have it. You know this Revs team is capable of putting up a 3 spot in the 9th. So let's see if they can get it done here with runners at the corners now and 1 away.
9th man in the order, who handles the bat as well as anyone, Dan Lyons. And he's looking to get off the schneid. He has struck out, hit into a fielder's choice, and also popped out, 0 for 3. The Revs will be looking to turn 2 here. Their infield is back all the way around. Outfield plays Lyons straight away. 1 down, runners at the corners. Pitch to Dan, and he pops it foul out of play right side. 0-1 to Lyons.
Somerset Patriots won in Bridgeport today, David. 3-1 in game 1 of the doubleheader, but apparently up on the north side of the Long Island Sound, the rain was just too much for game 2 to get underway. So, again, they now lead 5.5 games over the Ducks right now.
0-1 pitch to Lyons, and there's a ground ball to the left side, and that is a fair ball. The throw across is in time. Holding at third base was Prentice Redmond, since the ball was hit just about a foot or two away from him when it was snared by third baseman Steve Proscia. So a good play by Proscia, throwing out Lyons at first, and an important second out for the Revolution here in the 8th.
Well, but the Ducks a base hit away from adding 2 runs if, again, Brian Sabatella can come through here with a big knock.
Mike Blank advancing to second base. As Chris mentioned, 2 runners now in scoring position. And Sabatella, who is 2 for 4 here tonight. Sabatella with a third of the Ducks' hitting total here tonight. 6 hits. He has 2 of them. Singled up the middle in the first. Also singled in the fourth. Has also flied out and bounced out. 2 for 4. Pitch to Sabatella on the way. Good swing. Fouled it straight back. Just missing that. 0-1. Delta Cleary Jr. waiting on deck. So Ducks will need a little 2-out lightning here. And a clutch hit to pad their 3-0 lead going to the top of the 9th. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Runners on second and third. The Long Island native Brian Sabatella at the plate. Pitch from Harris on the way, and it is sawed off and fouled to the right side, all the way to the concourse area, 0-2.
Well, Kevin Baez in our pregame interview said, as Brian Sabatella goes, we go. The Long Island Ducks has been a great table setter at the top of the order, again leading the league in runs scored and also leading the league in stolen bases. Has a run tonight and a pair of hits, but not a swipe just yet.
Joe Harris on the mound, the lefty, with a long look in to De La Cruz, his battery mate, the catcher. And the 0-2 pitch on the way to Brian is a little looper to center field. Coming over to grab it to his right. Our left is Sean Smith and makes the catch. So in the inning, the Ducks threaten, wasted opportunity, and do not score. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. We go to the top of the 9th here at Bethpage Ballpark. Ducks looking to put that W up on the board and close it out, leading the Revolution 3-0.
Hey fans, this is relief pitcher Bruce Kern, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather, 1039 LI News Radio.
Thinking about buying or refinancing a home? Start by attending a free MCU home buying seminar. Then speak with one of our loan specialists who will guide you through the loan process. With an affordable mortgage from Municipal Credit Union, Home Sweet Home will be a little sweeter. Call 212-238-3521 or visit nymcu.org to apply for your mortgage today. Municipal Credit Union. Strong, trusted, growing. Municipal Credit Union is an equal housing opportunity lender.
Enjoy the ultimate VIP fan experience at Bethpage Ballpark this season by taking in a Ducks game from the brand new Trout Town Fan Can. Presented by Roscoe Beer Company, the Fan Can is available for rental at all Ducks home games. It features 12 Dream Seat theater-style padded seats, beverage holders, an air-conditioned atmosphere, and an incredible view of the game. Packages are now available with food and beverage included. To reserve your Fan Can outing today, call the Ducks Group Sales Department at 631-940-3825. The Trout Town Fan Can at Bethpage Ballpark. Your VIP experience has arrived.
We are back at Bethpage Ballpark. David Weiss, Chris King. We go to the top of inning number 9. And Chris, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that is the big closer of the Long Island Ducks who has entered the game.
Ryan Kushmal is in the contest. We talked about it. 9 saves on the season. That ties him for the league lead. So trying to become the first closer to go to double digits tonight is Ryan Kushmal. And I talked to Mickey Jansen, the pitching coach of the Long Island Ducks, about Kushmal of late. And he says, I have no idea why he's still in this league. His stuff is electric. He is lights out when he's on. He's been the biggest find of the year for the Long Island Ducks. And again, he feels if he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to get a call from a big league club. So let's see if Kushmal can close out what was an absolute gem by Mickey Janis for 8 innings.
Let's close out the book on Mickey Janis before we talk about Kushmal. 8 innings pitched for Janis, 1 hit. No runs, 5 walks, 9 strikeouts, 134 pitches for the workhorse tonight. 84 of those pitches, 4 strikes.
Unbelievable night. And David, you got to tell the story about Frank Bolton because it is an amazing story. The fact that he was not here for Rod Henderson's no-hitter back in 2001.
May 25th, 2001, just one of those few games during those early years that the owner and CEO and driving force of the Atlantic League, Frank Bolton, a game that he did not attend because he was at the Sweet 16 for his older daughter, Whitney. Something he always remembers. He was here tonight, though, for what could have been. Kushmal to Andres Perez, fastball inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Kushmal with an ERA of 1.93, making his 16th appearance. And as Chris mentioned, 9 saves go along with a 1-0 record. 18 2/3 innings pitched. Next pitch is in there for a strike, 1-1. He has struck out 14, walked 9, given up 4 earned runs. That's all in 18 2/3, and just 10 hits. At times, he is unhittable. Andres Perez at the plate, who is 0 for 2, reached on an error, lined out, and walked. Count now 2-1. You can hear the pop of the mitt from Mike Blank up here. Kushmal can bring it.
A little different than when we got that knuckleball floating in, right?
True enough. Well, what a change of speed from Mickey Janis tonight. He had everything going. 2-1 pitch, and there's a little check swing, grounder to Kushmal, who flips it underhand to John Griffin, 1 down.
Well, David, you and I have been doing this 16 years since the opening season of Ducks baseball back in 2000, and I've told the story before, but my single favorite piece of Ducks memorabilia, my score sheet from the night Rod Henderson pitched the no-hitter. I went down after the game, I had Rod sign it, and then we scanned it and put it on the Ducks website so everyone could see what a score sheet looked like of a no-hitter. But he signed it beautifully across the bottom with a Sharpie, and it's still my favorite piece of Ducks memorabilia that I own. My personal score sheet, only no-hitter I've ever seen in my life. Have you ever seen one?
No,
yeah,
no.
I mean, my only one.
Not even in Little League. Nothing.
Yep. Still looking for it, right? It keeps us coming back, though. It does.
It does. That score sheet, though, very neat looking. With the messiness of score sheets when games get out of hand, and Chris and I have had a few of those.
Yep.
But when it comes to a no-hitter score sheet, it just looks beautiful, suitable for framing.
Yes, a clean sheet it was for Rod Henderson that night.
0-1 the count to Brandon Boggs. 1 out, nobody on. Ducks lead 3-0. Kushmal, the closer for the Ducks, on the mound. Slings it to the plate with plenty of heat and misses. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Boggs, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. Only 1 batter in the York Revolution lineup has a hit. And that came in the 8th. That was Wilson Valdez on a weak grounder to short, and he beat it out. 1-1 pitch is slapped foul to the screen to the left side, and the count now 1-2 to Brandon Boggs. Luis De La Cruz, catcher, and 6th man in the lineup for the York Revolution, waiting on deck. Boggs batting from the left side against the righty, Ryan Kushmal. 1-2 pitch on the way, and there's a broken bat fly. Fairly deep center field. Lou Ford is still going back. Now comes in and makes the grab 2 down.
Yeah, I think Lou thought it was hit a little further than it was. As you called it perfectly, David, went way out and then back in a few steps. And the Ducks an out away from a rubber game victory.
So the last chance for the Revolution to keep this thing alive will be on the bat of Luis De La Cruz, who was flied out into a double play and bounced out 0 for 3. Righty-righty matchup here. Ducks 1 out away from finishing this one up. Pitch on the way, and there's the pop of that mitt. Good fastball outside corner, 0-1.
Yeah, Marty Jansen said that fastball's up in the 90s, which you want to have if you're going to have a chance to get to the big leagues.
0-1 the count to Luis De La Cruz. 2 out, nobody on. Top of the 9th. Big swing and a miss. Pulling the chain with an excellent changeup is Kushmal. De La Cruz just fanned at it helplessly. It's 0-2. Fans now getting into it. 1 strike away. Into the delivery. Kushmal to De La Cruz. A bouncing ball toward the middle. A snag by Dan Lyon to throw across over the head of John Griffin. So De La Cruz keeping things alive for the York Revolution. I would think with De La Cruz running down the first base line hard, that still might go down as an E6. It looked like it simply slipped out of the hand of Dan Lyons, who just kind of lost the grip on it on a moist evening.
Yeah, made a great play to get to it, David, and then had to hurry it. But John Griffin with a big stretch at first. Couldn't corral it. They do rule it the 4th error of the night on the Long Island Ducks.
Yeah, this has been a sloppy night weather-wise, and that has contributed to some of the miscues in the field. 7 errors total. 4 errors for the Ducks, 3 for the Revolution.
How about this, David? 7 errors, 7 hits. So as many errors as hits in this game.
Johan Lamonta at the plate, takes a strike outside corner. Lamonta has walked, struck out, and bounced back to the box. Tying run is still in the on-deck circle, so Lamonta can't hit a 3-run homer to tie it with only one man on. If he could, he would be known as the man of Lamonta.
You said you would stop.
I can't help myself. It's 0-1 with 2 down. Pitch to Lamonta. Just misses the outside corner, 1-1.
Can we go back to when Janice had the no-hitter and you stopped all the puns? Can we go back to that part?
Yes, we can go back. Dial it back.
You had no choice but to give it up then, buddy.
I'm squeezing every last pun out of this broadcast. I'll have nothing left for you and I Monday night. 1-0 the count to Lamonta at the plate. 1 on, 2 out. Ducks 1 out away from finishing it up. The pitch, ground ball toward the hole, taken by the third baseman Cody Puckett. Goes the short way to second base to Reggie Corona, and that will do it. In the inning, an error, 1 left, nothing across for the York Revolution, who were completely handcuffed by the Long Island Ducks and Mickey Janis tonight. Brian Cushball finishes it up. Ducks win 3-0. Ducks win! Ducks win! Ducks win! What a performance, start to finish, especially on the mound. The Ducks, the one team year after year no one wants to play because of what they have on the mound, and it was on full display tonight.
Well, again, a shutout win for the Ducks, their 4th of the season, a one-hitter by Mickey Janis, who went 8 innings, was 4 outs away from the 8th no-hitter in Atlantic League history and the 2nd in Long Island Ducks franchise history. But he and Ryan Kushmal combined for 9 innings of one-hit shutout ball, and the Ducks take the rubber game of the series. They've won all 3 series from the Revs, and they go to 7-2 on the year against York in the season set.
What a performance, something special tonight.
Who's going to be our player of the game? Who do you think?
Boy, I think it's a toss-up.
You got to come back to find out.
All right, it's a real cliffhanger. We'll be back with a post-game show and talk about what we have witnessed tonight. The Ducks win it 3-0 over the Revolution.
Hey fans, this is pitcher Ian Marshall, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 1039 LI News Radio.
James Simmons is going back. He is looking up, and on Bark in the Park night, that one is gone and reaches a kennel in Central Islip. That was another home run for the Ducks. And Duck fans, what's more fun than a home run that helps the Ducks win a game? How about a homer that helps the community win? Chappie's Funeral Home and the Long Island Ducks have once again teamed up for the Chappie's Home Run Challenge. If the Ducks hit 100 homers this season, Chappie's Funeral Home will donate $5,000 to the Quackerjack Foundation. So every time a Ducks hitter goes deep this season, watch for the Chappie's Challenge home run count on the scoreboard. And if we reach 100, we're all a winner. Chappie's Funeral Home, where caring for others is a family tradition.
Can't get enough of the Long Island Ducks? Well, now you can get even more inside info on your favorite hometown team through Facebook and Twitter. The Ducks are constantly updating fans through social media with scores, transactions, ballpark promotions, and much more. You can even win great prizes. All you'll need to do is make a free account on Facebook and Twitter, and then visit us at facebook.com/LIDucks and twitter.com/LIDucks. Think you're Long Island's biggest Ducks fan? Get connected now.
Back at Bethpage Ballpark, David Weiss, Chris King, as the fans file out, and they do it with a smile. They saw something very special tonight. It might have been historic. It came close, but nonetheless, it was very, very special. You know, the Ducks have given their fans so many highlights over the years, and tonight it was a pitching performance we'll be talking about for a while.
Now, Mickey Janis finishes at 8 innings of one-hit shutout ball, 5 walks, and 9 strikeouts, but he was 4 outs away from a no-hitter when Wilson Valdez, the fastest member and shortstop of the York Revolution, hit a slow roller to short. Dan Lyons, who was playing at the back of the infield dirt, had to charge across the dirt, get to the grass, and even with a good throw, would not have gotten him, and that the only hit of the game. game, preventing Mickey Janis from at least, David, taking that no-hitter to the ninth inning. And with a pitch count up at 134 for Janis when he finished, he did not come out for the ninth. Instead, Ryan Kushmal picked up the save, his league-leading 10th of the year, and an incredible night for Mickey Janis, who came up just 4 outs short of baseball immortality. Obviously, Mickey is our player of the game.
You know, you think back to the Johan Santana no-hitter for
Yes.
the New York Mets. He stayed in probably longer than he should have, and he was never the same. I'm not saying this would have happened had Mickey Janis gone back out and went 155 pitches for a no-hitter, but maybe it is just as well. You lose the battle to win the war. In this case, they won the battle, and the war is the entire season. Nonetheless, it would have been so sweet to have seen it tonight on a night when only the most diehard faithful flock fans came out, on a miserable night for baseball, but still came out and rooted very hard and, saw a wonderful gem from Mickey Janis.
Well, again, there always are those defensive gems when a pitcher takes a no-hitter as deep as Mickey Janis did tonight, and we look back to that top of the 6th inning. Shane Wilkerson, the leadoff man, a line drive that I think my initial call, I'll have to listen back, David, might have been that it was going to go for a base hit, but leaping up and climbing the ladder, as they say, was Dan Lyons to make a great grab, and then the very next batter, fittingly, Wilson Valdez put one down the right field line that Prentice Redmond made a great running catch on in fair territory and crossed over into foul. So at that point, you kind of get a sense it might be something special, and who would have thought that the next time Wilson Valdez came up in the 8th inning, he was the one that reached on that infield single. We should also point out that earlier in the game, Andres Perez in the 4th inning was originally credited with a base hit to short that was then changed correctly to an error on a play that Dan Lyons was unable to make.
And as we were talking about, even between innings, Chris and I were hoping if the no-hitter has to be broken up, make it a big shot,
Right.
a line drive, something that's a no-doubter. And it was just this dribbling little grounder, more or less a swinging bunt.
Yep.
That's all it was from Valdez. And it brings to mind the Tom Seaver imperfect game of 1969 when he gave up that dying quail of a hit to Jimmy Qualls.
Jimmy Qualls, it's still in your head, right?
Yeah, it's still in your head because it was just this little looping, drive that broke up not just a no-hitter but a perfect game for Seaver. In this particular case, though, I mean, there were some errors, there were some walks, so it wasn't a perfect game, but it was a dominating performance, again, by a pitcher who's not throwing 100 miles an hour. He is switching speeds, he's switching pitches, he's got the knuckleball in his repertoire, and he's got a lot of other stuff in that file as well. It was a incredible performance.
Well, again, the Ducks scored 3 runs in the first inning on 3 bases-loaded walks, and Mickey Janis made it stand up for 8 innings of 1 hit ball. Ryan Kushmal finished it out. The Ducks take the rubber game from the Revs, 3-0, and stay 5 back of the first-place Somerset Patriots in the Liberty Division as the Patriots won today in Bridgeport in the first game. The second game was rained out. We'll take one final break. When we come back, quick recap of how it went down. David and I will preview the week ahead for Long Island, and we'll wrap this one up. Again, the Ducks have won it here tonight, 3-0 over the Revs.
Hey fans, this is right-handed pitcher Mickey Janis, and you're listening to Ducks Baseball on Long Island's home for news, traffic, and weather. 103.9 LI News Radio.
Spring into a new Honda at Huntington Honda and pay $59 a month for a new 2015 Honda Civic LX sedan. $59. So spring into Huntington Honda on Jericho Turnpike just east of Route 110 or HuntingtonHondaCars.com.
Huntington Honda, discover the difference.
Auto 24-month lease, total due at inception. Civic $31.90 includes bank fee, first month's payment, no security deposit. Taxes, DMV, title fees extra with excellent credit through HFS.
Family fun every time.
Beautiful evening for baseball.
Big action every time.
He reaches up, it's gone!
Great value every time.
And the Ducks have won it 7-1.
The Ducks schedule is loaded with new promotions this season, and with an average ticket price of just $10 and free parking, there is no better value on Long Island. For game times and tickets, visit liducks.com. Long Island Ducks Baseball. Good times every time.
David Weiss and Chris King back one final time to Bethpage Ballpark in Central Islip, New York, where tonight the Long Island Ducks defeated the York Revolution 3-0 in the rubber game of the 3-game set. The Revs won it 4-3 here, 15 innings on Sunday afternoon. The Ducks won it 4-3 in 11 innings last night. And tonight our pitching matchup featured a pair of hurlers, each in the top 10 in the Atlantic League in ERA. Righty Mickey Janis for Long Island and lefty Rami Lewis for the Revolution. Well, the Revs failed to score on the top of the first. The Ducks scored all 3 of their runs in the bottom. bottom of the frame against Rami Lewis. He gave up back-to-back singles to Brian Sabatella and Delty Cleary Jr. before walking Lou Ford to load the bases. He would strike out Cody Puckett, but John Griffin drew a bases-loaded walk to bring home Brian Sabatella, 1-0 Long Island. Prentice Redmond drew a bases-loaded base on balls to bring home Delta Cleary, 2-0 Long Island. Reggie Corona would strike out swinging for the second out, I should say, but Mike Blank also walked with the bases loaded to bring home Lou Ford before Dan Lyons struck out swinging. All told, the Ducks bat around in the first inning, send 9 men to the plate, and score 3 runs on 3 bases-loaded walks. They had 2 singles in the inning. There were 4 walks issued by Rami Lewis. He got a meeting from his manager. He got a meeting from his catcher, but somehow he got through a first inning in which he threw 47 pitches, and the Ducks had a 3-0 lead after 1, but Lewis, to his credit, would settle down the rest of the way before departing after 5 innings. He allowed 4 hits, 3 runs on 5 walks and 5 strikeouts, but the story was the guy on the other side. Mickey Janis for Long Island took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. We talked about the great catches by Dan Lyons at short in the 6th off a line drive by Shannon Wilkerson to keep it alive. Wilson Valdez hit one down the right field line that was caught by Prentice Redmond in the 6th to keep it alive. And so Janis would take that no-hitter to inning number 8. He would strike out Steve Proscia swinging for his 8th strikeout of the game. He would walk Sean Smith with 1 out. Shannon Wilkerson would foul out to the first baseman, John Griffin, and that would bring up Wilson Valdez, who would hit a slow roller to short. Dan Lyons had to charge it across the infield dirt to get to the grass, and the fastest member of the Revs, Valdez, their shortstop with, again, 11 steals now on the year. He's only been caught once, would get an infield single to break up Mickey Janis' no-hit bid at 7 2/3 innings pitched, just 4 outs away. He would strike out Brian Pounds looking, though, to end his night on his 9th K of the evening. He finished with 8 innings of 1-hit ball, no runs of any kind allowed, 5 walks, 9 strikeouts, and threw 134 pitches before giving way to Ryan Kushmal, who closed it out in the 9th to give the Ducks the 3-0 win. Final numbers for Long Island: 3 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors. They leave 10. For the Revs, no runs on 1 hit, 3 errors. They strand 7. The winner is Mickey Janis. He goes to 3-2. The loser, Rami Lewis, he drops to 3-3. And Ryan Kushmal picked up his league-leading 10th save of the year. The game played unofficially in 2 hours and 47 minutes before a crowd of 4,058. So with the victory, the Ducks go to 21-16. They've won 2 straight and 3 of their last 4. With a loss, the Revs dropped to 15-22. They've lost 2 in a row following their season-best 4-game winning streak. Ducks have won all 3 series from the Revs, and they go to 7-2 now against York in the 9 games between the teams. So a much-needed win for the Ducks, David, after that crushing 15-inning loss here Sunday. They bounced back with a nice extra-inning win last night, a gem of a pitching performance from Mickey Janis. They'll have a much-needed day off tomorrow after all that extra-inning baseball and gear up for the Camden River Sharks in Camden. That'll kick off Thursday with a night game, Friday a day-night doubleheader, Saturday a single-night game before returning home Sunday to welcome in Southern Maryland for a 4-game set. So an evening we all got a thrill. We'll never forget what Mickey Janis did here tonight. David, you and I have been doing this 16 years. I wanted to be sitting beside you and calling the game on radio. We weren't doing that game on radio in 2001 when Rod Henderson pitched his no-hitter, but nobody I'd rather share it with you than you here tonight. And us, we took the ride with Mickey Janis tonight, as did all folks that were in this ballpark, and it's a night those who are here will certainly always remember.
No doubt about it, Chris. I'm sure you and I, the next time we see Mickey Janis, whether it's tonight or in future nights, we will give him a big thank you for what we witnessed tonight. It's something that we normally do when we see something like this that was so special, even with the 1 hit that was delivered. It kept us glued on a night when otherwise you're saying to yourself, all right, let's get it over with. It's always great to see a Duck game. It's the best game in town, the longest-running off-Broadway show that you can enjoy with family-friendly entertainment. But even on a night like this, something a little special makes it more memorable, such as what he did. And it's ironic, isn't it, that as we climbed further and further into this game and got closer to the end of it, we were biting our fingernails. It's the fingernails that are on the ball that Janis pushes to the plate. It's called a knuckleball, but it's really a fingernail ball. That's how you're pushing it to the plate. I should know, because the one time I had an opportunity to throw out the first pitch at a Duck game in 2002, when whoever it was from a car dealership didn't show up, Frank Bolton looked at me and said, "You want to do it? You've never done it. Go ahead." And I decided to throw a knuckler.
Unbelievable.
Threw a 55-foot knuckler, bounced to the plate. You want to make it to the plate, but I decided to get cute. throwing a knuckler is not easy. Janis does it wonderfully, but has so many other pitches to choose from. And again, he was just able, through guile and talent and some clutch defense behind him, he took it to the brink.
Yep, he really did. Well, again, a day off tomorrow. Michael Pollock will take you through the 4 games in Camden, New Jersey at beautiful Campbell's Field. And, David, you and I will be back here Monday for the Blue Crabs and tell the folks about a special pregame interview they can look forward to on Monday.
Justin Davies, who on June the 19th will have his number 4 retired, becoming the first Long Island Duck to have his number retired. Later on this season, Ray Navarrete will have that same honor. But for Justin Davies, he will be the first, one of the most important Ducks in history, the mayor of CI, as he's always been known. And I had an opportunity to see Justin on Media Day, and during that shortened Weird Rules game against the Bridgeport Bluefish, that exhibition game, back on April the 18th, I believe it was. And I had a long talk with Justin, and we'll air part of that interview for the pregame show on June the 8th, which is next Monday night. I'm sure you're going to want to tune in for that because he has left so many friends here on Long Island who are clamoring to know what he's up to, how he's doing. We covered everything in our wonderful talk, and that'll be coming up on Monday.
Again, Monday night pregame, Justin Davies will join us on the broadcast as he chatted with David earlier this year. David?
That is it. Special thanks. Oh, well, first of all, thank you, Chris. It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, David. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Thank you. Good night, Gracie. Special thanks to engineer Dave, Miratello, back in our 103.9 LI News radio studios. Final score for the final time from Bethpage Ballpark in Central Islip. Ducks 3, Revolution nothing. We invite you to join us for our next Ducks broadcast this Thursday night when the Ducks visit the Camden River Sharks to kick off a 4-game series. Pre-game show with Michael Pollock, who's making the trip at 6:50 p.m. First pitch scheduled on Thursday night at 7:05 right here on LIDucks.com and 103.9 LI News Radio. For Chris, so close to a no-no king, I'm David Dribbler to Short Weiss. Thanks so much for listening. We'll do it all over again Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening. Good night from the Duck Pond.